Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, and a fine libations Friday to you and yours. Loosey-goosey edition of the program, as we're wont to do on Fridays. Yeah, good time. Don't miss anything. If you do miss portions of the program, go back and get caught up. We'll post all 3 hours, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow. WTSM app for your mobile devices, and ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. You like the hat? I finally found my look. I think, well, it's comfortable, first of all, and it keeps my head warm. I was asking about this a week ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know when the hell I was asking about it, but I was saying I had to find a hat that I could wear, and I think I got one. I think this is the look.
No, it works. You know, when I walked in today, I was like, let's see. But as we spent the day prepping and all that kind of stuff, yeah, all right, yeah. I don't even notice it now. That's how I know.
I wore it yesterday as well. We had yesterday off. I want to get to the bowling tournament in a second, but I wore it yesterday just to get a feel. I had to get a feel for whether or not I could pull it off. You got to believe it. You got to be able to put it on and believe it. But I feel like I've taken that transitional step into old age with this hat.
Okay. So you're embracing old age now.
Well, I don't have a choice. I mean, what are you going to do? Fight it? You be that guy that buys a brand new Corvette? I mean, it's all right. You know, actually, I don't. The problem is, if I wear just a straight, like, Pirates cap or something, with glasses, it can be problematic for me. It doesn't bother you as much, but it does me, because I don't have any hair, so I think that's kind of the problem.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why, but it messes with me.
But it's important to have the right hat with glasses, too, because the brim of the hat or the side of it, you know, can push the glasses into your temple, and that's not just no good.
It hurts,
so
man.
It's
I
important.
don't like it. It's very important. This is a very comfortable hat. Even if people don't like it, I like it. It's very comfortable. All right, so here's where we go. We start by saying thank you very much, since I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, well, first of all, thanks to Crenshaw Lanes at FSU every year hosting this thing for us, and we always appreciate that. Thanks to our friends at Gordo's once again, who feed everybody and do such a good job. The food was excellent. The spread was great, always. Thank you again, Gordo's. We do appreciate it very much. And then, of course, thank you to all of you who participated, and even those that didn't participate, the people that just came by and offered up a gift for kids and or a gift card or means to help kids who otherwise wouldn't have anything this Christmas. So that's awesome. Every year I say it. Every year it's an emotional time. You just think about how nice people are capable of being and stepping up, and people always do without fail. And the other thing is, I got to tell you, you run into people after the event's over, or you get calls at the station, or somebody just walks through the door here at the station, or sends an email, or I get a text from a buddy who's in town, and they all say things like, listen, I couldn't be there at the event last night, or I couldn't participate prior, but believe me, it's been on my mind. Now that the inventory is in, and now that you know what the kids got and didn't get, is what do they need? I want to pick up something. To a man, we get that. We had a woman come in today and drop off 2 gift cards. We had another person reach out and say, well, I've got stuff to give. I just didn't know what they needed. Can you take a look at what they still need and tell me, and I'll get that over to them. It's just awesome. It is. So thank you to all of you guys, and thanks to everybody who participated. Thanks to our friends at the Guardian ad litem who help out there. And, man, good times. Thanks to Alicia. And, of course, everybody here at ESPN. It was another raging success.
Yeah, and you had a pretty good second game when we bowled.
Yeah, it was all right. 138. Ain't getting it done.
Yeah.
Sucks, actually. I left. I would have kept rolling. I know you kept rolling. You get into your rhythm about that third game.
No, I was totally out of rhythm. I'm going to have to go, like, the morning of for lunch or something like that, next year. I just wasn't in a rhythm. And then by the time the night was over and it didn't count.
Then you were rolling.
I rolled, 152.
Yeah, you started rolling big numbers.
And then we called it a night after the 6th frame of the 4th game because it was starting to, shut down a little bit. All right, let's get out of these people away because they were so good to us to not volunteer, but help out and, be there. And 95 through 6 frames. I mean, that's good for me, man. Like,
you
I
were
get
rolling.
it.
You were on your way.
Good bowler guys like, you suck. I'm like, yeah, okay, by your standards, I do, pal.
Yeah.
But here's the deal.
I'm not running from that.
Yeah, I bowl once or twice a year, and I was starting to hit the numbers that I thought I could hit. So I'm happy that I got there, but sad that I didn't do it when it counted.
It was still fun. We had a good time. Your first game was dreadful. Your second game was
dreadful.
Decent. Yeah, the first game, I could tell you were just not right. I knew it. I said, he doesn't have it right now. Gonna have to find it. But this hurts. This first one. But none of us were real good that first one. Bill Fredericks was. He was good. All right, so moving forward, thanks again, everybody. Wanted to say that. Also, wanted to say this later on today, 5 o'clock hour. I'm really excited to have an opportunity to talk to Willie Simmons, the new head coach at Florida A&M. We didn't get him on earlier, and we wanted to. We are getting him on today. So he's now the man at FAMU, and obviously I want to talk to Willie. I'm old enough to remember him playing at Shanks and remember him playing for Clemson and playing in the Bowden Bowls, the two of them that he got into. And anyhow, the point is he went on to become a coach, and I'm interested in his story. I'm interested in him in a way returning home. Quincy was home for him, but this is the North Florida. This area is home, and he's excited, and I know he is, and he did a good job at Prairie View. So I'm excited to see what he has in store. He runs an exciting offense, so I think FAM is going to be kind of like Florida State in the sense that both Willies want to push. They want to go. They want to go. They want to get athletes in space. So we're excited to talk to him. We'll do so in the 5 o'clock hour. I look forward to it. Of course, we'll have my wagers with my mother, who I'm crushing this year. I know she lost last night. I won that game with Denver last night. So
she picked Indy. That was gutsy.
Well, neither team's any good.
Correct.
And I actually did kind of waffle a little bit, but I did take Denver.
If you're looking for like the best segment on the field, it would be Denver's defense.
That's
you know
what
I mean?
Yeah. And if Indianapolis had a semblance of a decent player at quarterback, I would have maybe thought about taking them at home, but they don't. That's a bad marriage, right? You're going against a good defense who, when they care to be there, are good, but they care to try, and then you got nobody at quarterback.
Man, I was in the lobby of the movie theater last night. And I saw the first quarter of the game.
That's the next thing I wanted to ask you.
And it was 7-0. I was like, "Ooh, boy, I forgot. I don't need to look at the television screen. I'm gonna
read you a text that I just got because you gave me a reminder, and it happens to be perfect with what you had a chance to do yesterday.
Okay.
So this person writes, "Hey, by the way, just got out of Star Wars. It's incredible, better than Empire Strikes Back." Well, now.
Who is the source? Can you speak to me in code there so I know who this is?
You won't know who this person is. Okay. I will explain to you. The good person. We don't need to go insulting. Very good person.
No, that's not what I'm going
kidding.
with.
I know that's not where you're going. Anyhow, this person literally just texted me as we were starting the show because I had a question for him earlier in the day, and he just now got around to getting back to me right as we're starting the show. And he says, I know you're starting your show, but anyhow, I was in Star Wars, so that's why he couldn't get back to me. The point is, he loves it. He thinks it's great. You went yesterday.
I did.
I don't want you to ruin it for people who are going tonight or going this weekend.
Guys, no spoilers. You're good. You're good.
No spoilers here. You are a fan.
I am. Very much so.
You love it. It's right up your alley. It's your thing. It's your cup of tea. It's not necessarily mine. I get it. I've seen them all. I'll go to this. My kids will like it, I'm sure. I'll be indifferent. But did you like it?
It is different. It's different than any Star Wars movie, especially, the regular saga.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue One is its own war movie. But it's different than anything you've ever seen with Star Wars. It tries to do a lot at the same time. And this isn't negative. I'm still forming my thoughts on the movie.
Still trying to figure out whether or not you're all in or not.
Oh, there's stuff I absolutely loved. There's stuff I thought was wholly unnecessary, but I also get that it's going for something different than its predecessors.
So does it set something up for another one?
Now, okay.
Without giving anything away?
How can I do this without giving anything away?
Yeah.
Episode 9 can go any which way.
Okay.
Episode 9 has any number of possibilities.
I got you.
And for those of you that are going to see 8 this weekend or in the coming days, you'll know what I mean once you see the movie.
All right.
But it tries to be 4 or 5 different things at once, and to varying degrees, it succeeds. And because this director and the way it's written, you're trying to go. It's not like J.J. Abrams remaking a lot of the elements of the earlier Star Wars movies, where you go, well, that's more like it. At the same time, you can say, man, there's not really anything original to this. There's a couple of different concepts.
That's what I was sitting there saying. I was like, well,
right.
Okay.
It's largely a similar movie to the old one. This is not. It really. The trailer. Luke says, this is not going to go as you think. It doesn't. It doesn't go the way you think it's going to go.
Okay, all right. Well, then now I'm intrigued. I mean,
it's all of 2.5 hours. So if you're taking kids,
maybe skip the trailers.
Right. It's about 15, 20 good minutes for the trailers. So, if your kids can't stay in a place for, a good 3 hours without having to fidget and stuff, just know that going in. It's every bit of 2.5 hours.
Think when you were a kid, it's hard to sit anywhere for 3 hours. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's brutal.
I can tell you, too, the the funny thing is, I saw the double feature yesterday, so they put episode 7 on, and then you have a little break. And when they put 8 on, they roll to the, they're like 5, 4, 3. You know how the movie theaters,
yeah.
And then a Warner Brothers logo pops up, and everybody goes,
Warner
Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Are they? Wait a minute. Did they purchase the rights to? No, it's Disney. And people. Yeah. And then it says DC Comics.
And you knew then.
And everybody goes, what? And it was. And then Superman pops up on the screen.
You're like, what the hell is going on here?
The whole theater lost it. It was the wrong movie. So it was slated to start at 6, and there was pandemonium. It wasn't until about
sounds like wrestling.
15, 20 minutes later that they started the actual movie that we wanted to see.
Or the first Rocky.
Yeah.
It's pandemonium.
Well, I got to be honest. So when it said Star Wars, I was waiting for it to say episode 8 because I half, feared that they put 7 back on. Because once you mess up twice kind of a thing. But that's an all-time moment. I won't forget that. You wouldn't believe how mad some people got in the theater. Good Lord. It was embarrassing.
It would have caused me to chuckle. Florida State plays basketball tomorrow against Oklahoma State. Seems like it's been forever in a day since they've tipped off against another team here that we could be kind of excited about. Oklahoma State 7-2, by the way. They're coming off a 20-13 season a year ago, 9-9 in the Big 12. Got an at-large berth to the NCAA tournament as a 10 seed in the Midwest Regional. They lost 92-91 in that great game against Michigan in the opening round. Tom, do you recall we were right here in this studio watching the ending of that game, the Michigan-Oklahoma State game, and 92-91 in the opening round, and that was crazy because right after that, by the way, for Oklahoma State, their first-year head coach Brad Underwood bolted for Illinois.
Buddy, I can remember that. And did I ever tell you? Because we had the Westwood 1 tournament feed, which we will again. We plan on having again this year, which is awesome. I was blown away. I've been blown away by radio quality from a presentation standpoint.
They did a great job.
And it's not a knock on ESPN. It's just they do a great job. The feed was about a full minute and a half ahead of outside. So I went in here, and I knew what was happening before it happened. I don't think I ever told you that.
You didn't tell me that, and I was watching that going, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The way that game ended was nuts.
Because the guy on the call was incredible. So I wanted to hear him more than I wanted to see it because that's what March Madness is all about. It's about that passion and energy.
That's awesome. Should note that for Florida State, this is a game in which they're going to have to keep Oklahoma State's guards, their backcourt in check. It's a talented group, 6'7", 6'5", 6'3". They can really move. They don't match the depth or size that Florida State has. Should be a game that Florida State can win, but they could lose it too. So it's worth tuning in down in Sunrise on Saturday at 2 o'clock, taking on Oklahoma State. If Florida State is to win this basketball game, we would move to 10-0 on the year, and that would be the best start in program history, 03-04 season. So that would equal that. That's exciting to think about.
It is, man, and it's time to get it's time to get reacquainted, isn't it? That's the whole thing now. It's like, all right,
bowl weekend, so it starts up. You still got one last weekend or stretch of about a 10-day stretch where you really, obviously we build up to the playoff, but I'm saying where there's a bunch of other football games on.
Yeah.
Soon those begin to dwindle. Sadly, I don't want to bring the show down, but that begins to happen, and you turn all of your attention to college basketball.
Yeah, but 2 weeks from tomorrow we play Duke. Think about that.
Get you some, Duke.
Yeah, 2 weeks from tomorrow, we play Duke and Cameron Indoor. So, it's all getting going right now. This is the time to, all right, if you haven't paid attention to the team, watch tomorrow's game and then take a snapshot of what's happened in the first 10 games because it's about to get real interesting real quick.
Huge weekend for Willie Taggart. We'll talk about it later in the program, but from a recruiting standpoint, this is the big one, right? There are huge prospects rolling into town. I know that I read earlier that 4 of those big-time recruits are either currently undecided or have already committed to another team verbally, and so you're trying to convince them to flip. So you got some big-time guys coming in.
War daddies.
Yeah.
War daddies.
I hear you, Coach.
War daddies.
So you got – and you know what I noticed when I went through the lists of players several of which, whenever you do that, by the way, when you have like 7 or 8 kids coming in for a weekend, you go position by position and you look at, and you're amazed always. One of my brothers actually went to Armwood, and one of the kids, Warren Thompson's coming in, is 6'5", 195-pound wide receiver, and was thinking, who was guarding him? I mean, it's crazy. Just everybody's bigger, stronger, faster. It's nuts. But he's coming in. He's undecided. He's a big-time receiver. That would be obviously a good thing if the Noles could get him. Asante Samuel, cornerback out of St. Thomas Aquinas, is coming in. He's already a verbal commit to Florida State. So some of these guys are just confirming. You're just making sure everything's cool.
Usually when the kids come on campus for an official, visit, to me, it's just do what you got to do to get the kid interested and lube the deal. Seal it. You know what I'm saying?
A little lube it of the deal.
Yeah. Get it done. Right. Exactly. That's the kind of fun and games
we have around here.
But I would be interested to be a fly on the wall for this weekend. This is different. Usually I'm like out of sight, out of mind, but this has to be much more personal this weekend because it's about Willie selling himself.
Your message, baby. Yes. Selling it. Making sure that everybody's good. Everybody's comfortable. Kids like Christian Armstrong, 6'5", 335-pound offensive tackle. All right, already verbally committed. Let's just make sure everything's cool. Isaiah Bolden, 6'3", 170. That's a corner at 6'3". Well, then, he's undecided. Let's try to get him, Coach. Malcolm Lamar, the defensive end who verbally committed to Oregon. You'd like to think you have a good chance in getting him. He's from Seffner. Armwood, yet again, 6'5", 260. Okay. Also, Antoine Green, 6'3", 190, wide receiver, undecided. And again, you've got Amari Gaynor, guys like that who are committed, you feel good about. But I'm excited because I want to see if every one of these guys say yay. Seems like they will.
Well, and it could be one of those statement weekends. It almost feels like they're trying to, draw it up for a statement weekend so then they can empower these kids who came here this weekend to go spread the word, man. Because, again, this is not a factory tour. You're not looking at assembly lines. You're talking to the head man, and he's giving it to you from the heart. And he's telling you what he's about, what his program's going to be about.
There was no Redemption Thursday yesterday, but today I will do it one time here at the outset of the show. Matthew has already posted them on Facebook for the 97.9 page, ESPN Tallahassee page. You can find my picks. I did make some picks for us today. In my real life, I tell you how many I'm actually going to wager in. I do bet every single bowl game, but not in one of my little things I do. But not a lot.
It's a pool. You don't like...
No, I bet every single one for a on it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's one thing I do that with. Yeah. That's fun, and I'm not saying everybody should do that.
That's impressive, I think.
Yeah, no, I have fun with it. It's not crazy money, but you can win a good amount if everybody's chipping in $10 a game.
My dad usually finds somebody to play. Over the years, it's been different people, but he tries to find somebody to take him on, and he bets. It's very simple. He bets $1 a game. And he just takes all the underdogs. That's what he wants. He's like, you take all the favorites, I'll take all the underdogs, and then there it is. Winners. He doesn't care. Not about the line, about winners.
Just winners.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of fun. What do you do with pick'ems? There's a couple of them this year in the bowls. You flip a coin.
Then I think he gets to decide at that point.
Who he wants.
Yeah.
Boise State's getting 7.5 against Oregon in a game you're going to see this weekend. I'm taking Boise State there. Oregon... without some key people, and obviously the transition is interesting. It's not as shocking because Cristobal is staying on, but Boise State, I like the hook there, basically. Texas Tech plus 2.5 against USF. I took Texas Tech. San Diego State giving 6 to Army. I think San Diego State's going to blow Army out, Tom. Michigan State's getting 3 against Washington State. Give me Michigan State. Give me that crafty old Dodger for a bowl game. He's tough.
Over Mike Leach?
Yeah.
All right.
Flighty ass Mike Leach. Washington plus 3 against Penn State. Sorry, Matthew. Give me Washington's defense against Penn State. I'll take the 3 points. And I took my Sooners to beat Georgia. They're getting points in this game with the line that I got early. I think it's bet down now to 1, but I see it at plus 2 for OU. I took OU plus 2. I like OU to win the game. And in the NFL, 4 games for you. Chargers plus 1 against Kansas City. That's a pick 'em to me. I basically am going with angry Phillip Rivers to get the win and keep San Diego's streak going. I took the Packers with Aaron Rodgers returning this weekend against Carolina. Desperate against non-desperate per se, and Aaron Rodgers is that kind of guy to make a splash. I took the Steelers getting 3 against the Patriots. That's maybe not a safe bet. I think this is a 3-point game. I think this is a war. I think this is a fun game that we all can't wait to watch. The Patriots, for whatever reason, well, because of the best franchise in sports just about, has had their way with Pittsburgh in these type of games. But I'm taking the Steelers at home, getting 3. Home dogs, good
Short
football
week for
team.
New England.
Yeah. I did it that way. And then finally, you and I are all over the 49ers and what Garoppolo makes them against a Titans team that's not playing good football. And frankly, you look at Mariota, he's played terribly lately. I think the 49ers, and I'll even give the 1.5. The 49ers are actually favored in this game.
Tennessee should run the ball 40 times and see what happens.
That'd be their best option, I would think. So there you go. There are your wagers. There it's all for charity. And if you want, here they are. That's all for charity. There you go. Make your games, make your picks. Been on a good roll lately. I've been saying that for about a month and a half. Let's see. A little bit of dicey. Bowl games are dicey. I'm not gonna lie to you there. Anybody thinks they got a great handle on bowl games? Got to judge motivation.
You're better off betting the money line than you are the spread in a bowl game.
These days, with all the kids deciding to sit out, you just don't know. By the way, on that note, Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, will join us in the 4 o'clock hour. Looking forward to a lot to get to. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on earth, can give you the best year-end deal on earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my poor truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Customers constantly tell us that they're getting several estimates to compare apples to apples. You ever bite into an apple and find out the inside is rotten? Cheap roofing quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities says 'tis the season to save energy and money. And that's why your own utilities says it's time to focus on those Energy Star appliances, like clothes washers, dishwashers, refrigerators, and freezers, even pool pumps and water heaters. Rebates range from $40 to $300. AC and heat pump rebates go as high as $750. And when you buy Energy Star appliances, you save twice. You'll save when you get the rebate from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, and you'll save again on your utility bill, because it's a fact that Energy Star appliances use less energy than their non-Energy Star counterparts. So look for the Energy Star when you shop local for appliances this holiday season. Get all the Energy Star rebate details at talgov.com. Your own utilities. Click on products and services, and all will be revealed. 'Tis the season to save. Save energy and save money with the City of Tallahassee Utilities Energy Star rebates. You'll save with the rebate, and you save on your utility bill. Happy holidays from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities, and America's #1 public utility.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let Mahindra show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth. And hurry in for up to $7,400 in special Mahindra cash back and savings.
North Florida and South Georgia's authorized Mahindra dealer is TNT Super Center, US 19 South in Thomasville, and at TNTSupercenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Well done. I wonder why so many people were concerned with what LeBron said to Lonzo that it became a headline. You saw they covered their mouths while they were talking after the game, LeBron and Lonzo. I know, right? Those are the storylines when you play 82 games.
Yeah.
And ESPN has to find a way to be able to, I don't know, pump a product up that people are not indifferent about, but have a hard time investing in early in the year. I mean, the Porzingis story is cool. Philadelphia's a game over 500. That's cool. You know, the East isn't guaranteed to go Cleveland's way. Okay, so these are developing things that are real stories, but on a nightly basis, this is what they got to do. They got to give you that soap opera nonsense.
Agreed. But, you know, the hard part is once you get into the weeds of talking about what teams can or cannot do or what they are or are not, that's boring too. I mean, like, listen, he should do NBA work specifically. Russillo, you know, who's preceding us these days, right, for, you know, only a couple more weeks before they redo their whole daytime. But I give that guy all the credit in the world. He loves the NBA like
and
crazy.
It shows, yeah.
And it shows. But he goes right into the weeds and talks about the teams. He doesn't talk about the storylines nearly as much. When they have a guest on, he'll ask the big picture stuff. But if he's given his NBA thoughts, it's on the metrics, it's on the X's and O's.
That's right.
It's on the storylines.
Yeah.
But I hear that for 3 minutes and I go, no, I reject this. I don't want to hear this right now. It's December.
I'd like to read that. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
I want to read that. Usage rates. We've spent 7 minutes on usage rates.
Yeah.
Man, even if you're giving me 8 minutes on defensive efficiency, okay, which is a more pertinent thing that, you know, to the game. You still just gave me 8 minutes on defensive efficiency. I don't know. You know, I can't. I think this is where Lebertard succeeds, and now we're going very meta and talking about our industry. But
this is right. They take two different approaches in talking about either sports or the NBA in particular.
Well, it's because Lebertard doesn't want to get in the weeds. He wants to talk about big picture items, whether that's race or some form of controversy. I don't mean that negatively. I mean that he's going to look at a long-term, big picture scope. He's going to tell you, can Houston beat Golden State? I mean, like, we're not even at the All-Star break. His question is, can Houston beat Golden State? Because they have the best record in the league right now. They've played the best basketball in the NBA so far. And he's going to theorize based on those numbers that you're talking about Russillo getting into. And he's going to say, well, they have to take 20 more threes in a game than Golden State does. And then maybe they can just beat them 4 times in a 7-game series by scoring from beyond the arc more because they take more than Golden State. And they're the only team that does. So maybe they can do that. Can they do that? And then, and then Stugotz will say, no, I don't think they can. And then they'll argue about, wow, he's not a visionary. But the point is, that's a very different way of talking about the league, and it's a more interesting way of talking about the league, is finding quintessential sort of big picture questions. The league's popularity, and this is the only segment today, folks, that I'm going to talk about the NBA. The league's popularity is gaining. There's no doubt, especially in young audiences. It's why ESPN mandates, in addition to their investment, that their hosts talk about it. It's why they get mad that I don't and other people like me do not, because we also know where we are. We're in Tallahassee, Florida. There's no NBA team here. And the overwhelming majority of people here might like the NBA, but not until they get into the second half of the season are they going to tolerate me talking about it for any length of time.
Most everybody loves the playoffs once you get towards conference finals and finals.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll want me to talk about Florida State basketball because that's obviously a team here they're invested in, and we're 9-0 and ranked, and that's fun to see. Okay, I got you. It's difficult. I think that the big picture is the way to go when you talk about that league, because there are cool storylines of young players that are emerging and are a threat to LeBron James, are a threat to the establishment. And I don't mean that as a rebellious thing. I just mean a threat to unseat somebody finally, because we've had so much status quo that it's bad for the league. To me, it's bad for the league when you just know it's a foregone conclusion that whoever LeBron's playing for in the East, they are going to the finals.
No, the funny thing is, if in the last 2 years you removed Golden State and Cleveland out of the discussion, they didn't exist. Their rosters didn't exist.
Then it would get really interesting.
The league would be so popular right now, and it would be talked about all year long because every game then matters. But right now, we already know how this movie's going to end pretty much. It's going to end with a fight scene between these two teams, and then who's going to be the one ultimately that wins? Probably Golden State. But, we'll see. We'll find out. Maybe somebody gets hurt.
That's why when you go to the West and you see Golden State and you go, okay, I mean, even without Curry right now, they're winning games because they've got a super team and a super roster and a player who is transcendent in his own right. And his usage rate is at an all-time high right now. But that's why you bring Kevin Durant into a team like that, or why he chooses to go to a team like that, because you can have a legitimate superstar, arguably the best player in the league, go down for long periods of time, and they're still so loaded that you just kind of yawn a little bit. They've continued to win, although Houston's nice out of the Southwest. Still amazes me that we talk, it's funny just because I'm old. You didn't label the divisions this way. It was West and East, and that's all there was. And you didn't have, anyhow, Pacific, Southwest, Northwest, those names of the divisions. I sometimes forget. You're like, well, is New Orleans? New Orleans is in the Southwest, right? That's what that is?
They're in the Western Conference, which is just...
But they're in the Southwestern Division.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the NFL back in the old days when they had the alignments all screwed up.
The Bucks were...
Yeah.
Didn't make any
there
sense.
Still are stragglers because there just, frankly, aren't enough teams in any sports league out west, so you have to have Midwestern teams in the West, even though they're not really...
Like Minnesota and...
They're closer to us than they are, the actual Pacific Ocean. It doesn't make hardly any sense.
Still waiting on the Jazz to change their name. You moved from New Orleans, where it made perfect sense to be the Jazz, but Utah, it couldn't get further away from Jazz.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
I've always wondered, come on, guys. At some point, let's do the flippity-doo.
The three-note xylophone. Boom, bing, boom.
Then again, if you're a old-school NBA fan, you go, well, Jeff, the Lakers.
Right.
And I go, I know, but they're just Showtime. You can't mess with the Lakers.
Yeah, they should just call them the Showtime. The L.A. Showtime.
It sounds like the Orlando Magic, which are also useless. By the way, our boy, I checked on him during the break.
Yeah. Well, he's not even...
Oh, he's a failure, Tom.
Is he still a teenager?
I don't know.
I think he's still
He's averaging 19 minutes a night, scoring 6 points a game. He's all right.
All right. You're coming along. We would embrace so much talent in this league, and we would talk about the league if it weren't for those two top teams. You'd be talking about what's going on
because of the competition. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd hear names like Wiggins more often, or Porzingis more often, or last year.
Starting to hear a lot about Porzingis though, because he's in New York and he's really freaking good, and he's 7'3" and does things that people 7'3" shouldn't be able to do.
It's sustainable. I mean, Philly would be a big talking point this year because people wouldn't care about what they're doing in the regular season. They'd say that's a team that's going to be dangerous, even more dangerous than they look to be right now. Philly, Boston's an interesting race. Obviously, San Antonio never goes away. Kawhi Leonard just came back from his injury. I mean, you would have 85 storylines. But by and large, people don't care enough about the NBA to look past the obvious two candidates for the finals again.
Well,
and that's where the discussion begins and ends. It doesn't matter. So screw it. I'm not going to invest my time into figuring out who all these other people are. in the conversation because they're not part of the real conversation. Call me when they are.
Yeah, and I think, like, the 76ers, a traditional franchise. So when you see the logo, like, I grew up and the Sixers were, you remember, obviously, Dr. J, and, hell, I remember Sedell Threet. But anyhow, I'm going through, name, you're like, who? What is he talking about?
I decided to check what time it was.
So Moses Malone, Sedell Threet, who I'm the only guy that cares about Sedell Threet. I just did. But obviously, Dr. J. The Sixers were on the tail end of their time of excellence, and the Celtics had emerged, of course, and then later the Pistons and the Bulls. But the Sixers were always part of that group, that upper echelon group that I thought about as needing to be good for the NBA. It was a good thing to have Philadelphia, who's invested. They care deeply about basketball in Philadelphia for obvious reasons. And, you would say, okay, well, they need to be good, and then they haven't been for so long. Enough people care that Ben Simmons is really good, that Joel Embiid is really, really good, and a funny person to boot, and that there's talent there that you're kind of interested in at the very least, that you say, well, man, I look around that roster, and I'm fascinated every night. I'm watching Covington. I'm watching Booker. I'm watching these guys. This is a fun team. And they are, but not enough for me to watch more than, say, once a week, maybe.
Sure.
I'm just not there. And that's if I'm flipping around and
you're not
going to
go find it. Yes, there's a difference.
If I'm flipping around and they're on and I like the matchup, I go, oh, okay.
And where I'll give you credit is, for Golden State before they rose to prominence, you would go find them.
I would, because I like the way they played.
Yeah.
That was different. They were part of a revolution in the game. And the few times and I stumbled into that, not just because of some star power, but because people were saying, are you watching Golden State?
They weren't stars yet.
They weren't stars.
Yeah.
But I watched and I thought, well, this is fun. Like, this is really fun. They're interesting in a way that is different from everybody else. And, obviously it took off, and they went crazy. And right now, I mean, I'm just at least having a little bit of fun watching Philadelphia. I wish I cared more. It would be good for us, too. It'd be good for us as a show.
Sure. And I'll bet there's bias here, too. But I grew up watching the NBA. So real quick, I grew up watching the Knicks and the East.
And I watched the Magic, too, because they were good. They were fun with Anthony Hardaway. I watched that transition, and Shaq, obviously.
They were my team. They never win, ever, the whole thing. But, watching the balance in the East between the Bulls when Michael was there, obviously. But the Heat always gave them problems, gave the Knicks problems. The Pacers were there.
You know who gave the Bulls problems in just one-on-one matchups?
Orlando.
Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy.
They pushed them 6.
They would. Toronto was like a problem.
Yeah. It's like the Cavs gave the Knicks problems. Well, the East was interesting, man, 1-8, and so I loved it. I'd watch Sunday on NBC. You know what I mean? It could be December, and it was Houston and New York. Well, maybe these could be the two teams in the finals. One year it ended up being that they were in the finals playing each other, but it was always interesting to me. And as I've grown up, hockey is the same thing. It's 82 games. A lot of teams that don't deserve to be in the playoffs necessarily get in the playoffs, but I just find that night to night so much more entertaining than the NBA, and I don't know why that is anymore. Maybe it's just because I know that this game between Boston and Philly likely doesn't matter in terms of the power balance in the East.
That has been the problem. Until somebody unseats LeBron, then you just say, okay, well, wake me up when somebody has a chance to do that. It's legit, and I'll buy in to regular season mattering and home court mattering, because it hasn't mattered. It's so funny to hear you say the NBA on NBC. Like, if you're my age, you only really think of the NBA on CBS.
And if you're mine, it is NBC all the way.
Yeah, it's funny. That is a distinction that is very different with our age demographics. I was born in 1971. The first NBA on CBS episode that ever aired was in 1973. I was living in Europe. I had no idea, obviously. But upon getting old enough to care about the NBA and care about basketball and beginning to have some semblance of an understanding of what was going on in, say, 78, 79, 80, the NBA is on CBS. It doesn't leave CBS until 1990. So you're born in 86.
Right.
You're 4 years old. It's still on CBS. You have no idea. You don't care. You get 10 years removed from 86, and they're only, they're 4 years in or 6 years into their time on NBC. So right as you begin to care, all you know is the NBA on NBC.
All I know is that I can remember the NFL on NBC.
Right.
I can remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when the NFL on Fox was starting up. But there's one thing that is universal about basketball, as much as it sounds like I'm bashing it, I'm really not. I hope it's more interesting. There is nothing when it's at the height of its power. There's nothing cooler than basketball. There's nothing more like it's like college football in the sense that you get this sense of pageantry, and it's almost regal to see some of the things that happen. A slow motion replay loves no sport like it loves basketball.
Well, because they're some of the most amazing athletes in the world by far. But
they're the better athletes than in football. There's no question about that. But like the inch between a contested jump shot being blocked, and yet the 3-point shooter rises above it. I mean, like the split second that matters so greatly. Slow motion
NBA is beautiful.
It's unbelievable.
The only exception to cool that I'll tell you that I think carries the day, and it's because I remember it when it happened frequently and it doesn't anymore, and we all regret it, is a heavyweight championship fight. For a night.
I don't know.
For a night, a heavyweight championship fight between really good heavyweights. Ain't nothing like it. It's just that it's been so bastardized and hasn't happened in so long. But those were amazing days. I went to party after party with people, and I'm not just talking about getting silly. I mean, it was an event. You sat down. I mean, I guess the last time it really mattered was Tyson, and his reign lasted very briefly. But all the years preceding that, there were great champions, great matchups. You couldn't wait to do it. You went to a friend's house, you had 40 people who bought in, and there was a keg out back, and everybody was eating. You're like, okay, here we go. All right. And you were nervous. It was crazy. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sit and drive inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Can't decide between fresh steak, seafood, or wings? Well, Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway has it all. From center-cut sirloin and original pastas to fresh salads and favorites like Miller's Signature Zingers, tossed in your favorite sauce. Miller's Ale House has a full-service bar featuring more than 75 beers, plus wine and liquors. Bring the family to watch the big game inside or on their covered patio on one of over 60 HD TVs. However you come to relax, you will have a good time and great food at Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Hey, golfers and holiday shoppers, Edwin Watts has the best deals for you and the golfers on your list. Bushnell is the #1 rangefinder in golf, and right now you can save $50 on the Pro X2, Tour V4, and V4 Shift Patriot Packs, and save $50 on the XL watch. Give the gift of distance with TaylorMade's newest irons, P790s and MCGBs. Save on the most complete tour ball, the TP5 and TP5X, now $39.99 a dozen. And gift cards are the perfect pick for the hard-to-shop-for golfer. Buy with confidence at Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
At Whole Foods Market, we believe in real food. Food that's full of nutrients. Naturally vivid and colorful. fresh, and delicious. Food that connects you to your body, to the seasons, and to the natural world. We believe food should nourish you and help you think. It should help you feel calm, clear-headed, and strong. It should help you do more, sleep better, and wake up happier. That's food that lives up to its name. We believe in real food. Whole Foods Market.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
I must be in the festive spirit. I bet the Sixers to win tonight. $10.
Okay. Who are they playing?
OKC in Philly.
Ooh, OKC having a rough go of it.
They suck.
Yeah.
Philly's giving a point. I'll give that point all day.
Huh. Somebody sitting out tonight? You know how that can be in the NBA. Well, that's at home, though.
I like it. I'm taking Philadelphia, giving the point.
Boy, that just sounds like free money, Jeff.
Well, you can make the same bet, Tom. I'll direct you to a guy who does these things for us. Yeah, I saw that. I went, all right, a little NBA action sounds good tonight. And then I may have gone overboard. And I want your yay or nay on these. I already did them. They're in the can. There's no going back.
So it's not counsel. It's just,
No, I just.
Analysis.
Well, I took a runner. Me and young Matthew, has got a gambling issue. And because he does.
People that listen to the show must be like, what is wrong with these people,
Well,
man?
there's a level of honesty that we try to at least convey here. So Matthew and I were talking during the break about games, and I wanted to see what the slate was for hockey. I'm only telling you guys this because Lee Sterling's coming up next, and we're going to get into the lines for the bowl. So it's kind of a theme, and I've got something I'm going to be doing in a moment that doesn't necessarily involve show content, but it benefits the listeners. So I figured between benefiting the listeners, getting into Lee Sterling Paramount Sports segment, and then this, it feels like it all ties together.
Well, sometimes Lee Sterling does benefit the listeners himself.
That's right.
Sometimes we do.
That's right.
You this year especially.
I've had a good year. Very good year. I don't go crazy bragging about that. I do brag about it, but I don't go crazy because, the betting gods will come back to get you.
Oh, yeah. I had a solid year, but I'm just going to stay in my hole. I've had a very good year.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. I did something, and perhaps I was buoyed by the positive frame of mind that I'm in. Perhaps it was a matter of, it feels like I got the Midas touch right now, Tom Lang. That's like the worst thing a gambler could say, like Fred Flintstone over here. But I went ahead and took the over in every single NHL game tonight. Across the board.
Every game.
Everyone. Well, it's not a big slate. But I did.
Yeah, Fridays usually aren't big nights for the NHL.
So do you want me to go through those? And you can tell me, I don't know, Jeff.
Sure, but the background story is interesting on this one. Real quick, about Tuesday, Thursdays in the NHL, right?
And Wednesdays, too.
Was it Wednesdays,
it's
too?
It's Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Matthew, it's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, right? Yeah, it's Tuesdays,
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we're going to actually help our listeners.
Yeah, typically an NHL schedule, just for people out there, it's usually Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Every once in a while they'll put you on a Wednesday. It's a bit of a lighter schedule.
Right.
But it's usually built around the construct of a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You get in your road trips and get a little squirrely for back-to-backs.
We had back-to-backs on the West Coast and won both of them.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like typically when one coast travels to the other coast, they try and get those in as quickly as possible. But if you're playing in your own division, it's typically Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
So Tom and I and Matthew, we all last year were taking a look at a study that somebody did, or I heard about it, or we read about it. Somehow it came up where somebody had looked at, I tasked Matthew with the responsibility of doing this. That's right. I'm the degenerate gambler.
Yeah, you did your own in-house research.
I did. That's right. I asked Matthew, I said, hey, man, look up over the course of the last couple of years the nights in which goals are scored. And I know why it happened. I think there was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday night where everybody scored 5 goals or more. It was a crazy night. It was final scores of 7-5 in hockey. And I was struck by that. I was like, man, they were lighting a lamp last night across the league. It was crazy. So I looked at it, and I noticed that every game, and you're right, it was a light fare. It was like 4 games. But all four were crazy. Everybody scored. Like the totals were in the 8s or 9s for hockey, which is crazy. It doesn't make any sense. So I thought, well, let me just go look at what the over-under were, because I knew that Vegas had to have taken a bath on those games if everybody went in on the overs, which I didn't know if they did or not, but I wanted to see what were the over-unders. So what you find out if you're not a gambler, and this isn't necessarily a gambling segment, although it could be considered one. If you're not a gambler, what you find out about the NHL is this. The over-under of every single NHL game is either 5.5 or 6, with very few exceptions. Almost always 5.5, frankly. You'll see 6 when two high-scoring clubs get together or two clubs that don't bother to defend.
Yeah, two teams that have bad goaltending, bad defense. And then there is the specter, right, hovering over the game of the empty net goal, which can swing it all in the final 10 seconds.
Which is why the half is always there, because it's 3-2 and somebody's going to empty their net. And now you got to hold on if you got the under and hope that somebody doesn't take advantage of that and push it to 6. So anyhow, that's how this works. With 5.5 or 6 is almost always, like virtually always, the over-under of any hockey game. So I had Matthew look up the nights in the NHL in which the most goals are scored. You can quantify that. You can find that out. And it turns out I think it's Tuesday. But then Wednesdays, even though there's a small slate, a lot of goals are scored on Wednesdays.
Tuesday sounds right, too, just in general.
So Tuesday, Wednesdays, if you've got games on those nights, you probably want to be looking at the over. Goals are scored aplenty. Whereas when you get over the weekend and you get later on the slate, Thursday, Saturday, Tom, they struggle to score. I don't know why that is, but it's like league-wide. He did the research. It was amazing. Matthew came back with like a freaking novel.
Well, that's what he does.
And it was awesome. And
people don't know that enough about Matthew. This dude can analyze with the best of them. He crunches the freaking numbers.
He does.
Like crazy.
He's good with baseball that way too. So anyhow, I asked him. He came back. He said, "Okay, here's what we got, man. If you're going to do this, you're going to want to start betting." Quickly, it became this nefarious thing where we sat down and started going, "Well, how can we make money off this?" So then it was, if you're going to do this, let's bet Tuesday or Wednesday games. So we started doing it. And it started paying off.
Yeah.
We were betting overs. Remember that? Just like I said, I'm not even going to look at the two teams. I don't care. We're just going to bet the over. Because nobody can stop each other.
You guys made a good chunk,
We
didn't
did. We started doing really, really well. I don't know why I backed off that. But we've played enough NHL games now this year that I'm like, all right. Now, this makes no sense because it's a Friday. And we really didn't do much research on Fridays at all. But I went and bet the over of every game tonight. So if you're watching at home and you happen to tune in to the the Kings and the Rangers, thinking of Los Angeles, Anaheim, all that. If the Kings and the Rangers, or the Stars and the Devils, or the Hurricanes and the Sabres, or the Leafs and the Red Wings, or the Sharks and the Canucks, just root for the over. Just root for 6 goals to be scored in every one of those games. A grand total of 6 goals to be scored. They're all 5.5, Tom.
Wow, they're all 5.5.
Every one of them is 5.5. So here you go. I just said, okay, watch this. I don't know if it was a moment of bravado or what it was. I said, but I'm doing my offshore thing with this one, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go all overs. All right. So what do you think? Over L.A. Kings Rangers 5.5.
I think that's a dicey proposition there.
Stars Devils.
I think that's a safer bet. I think they're going to go over there barely. That's a 4-2 final.
Hurricanes Sabres.
I don't like that one. I don't. That's a 3-1 hockey game.
Leafs Wings.
Going over. The Leafs score in bunches, and they got shut out last night by Minnesota.
There we go.
You're going to see a goal fest. That's 5-2, 6-3.
All right. Sharks Canucks.
Dicey. I think this is a 3-2, 2-3 kind of night.
Right, that's what I figured. That's why I did it. I didn't expect to win them all. Of course not. I figured I just need to go 3-2. So one of the dicey games got to go my way.
Right. Yeah.
And we can't have anybody who normally doesn't defend decide to stand on their head.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So,
but you can never know that. So
yeah, Hurricanes Sabres. It could be just a tale of 2 awful teams that end up scoring a bunch.
There you go.
But if you're just going by reputation, Leafs Red Wings will certainly go on the over if you're going by the book. Stars Devils should go in the over, and then the other 3 are we'll see.
Okay, well that's fun. It gives everybody a little something to look into tonight. What am I, Big Daddy Jeff? Big Daddy is going. Big Daddy's going.
Yes, Big Daddy Jeff. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Big Daddy. I'm gonna go by Big Daddy J. Big Daddy J is going with the overs tonight, kids. Let's root for Big Daddy.
Give me a Kettle One and Coca-Cola, please.
We've created a character. Big Daddy's going over tonight, boys.
The new bartender always says, does he mean something else? No,
No.
he drinks vodka and Coke.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no. But Big Daddy's going overs tonight. So I'd be settled in somewhere to have the hockey games on everywhere, and I'd be like, oh, Big Daddy's looking good over there on that corner screen. People would be so tired of that. Like, that'd be my spot. Oh, 2-2 in the first. Big Daddy's got this one all day long.
Is Pepsi okay? No. It's a Red Russian, Coca-Cola and vodka.
Sir, there's no such thing, but okay, Big Daddy. And they would take to calling me Big Daddy.
Because it's Big Daddy.
Because it's Big Daddy. You
know I love my Red Russians. I'm Big Daddy Jeff.
Sue, another Red Russian for Big Daddy. We just covered up here on the right. Wings just scored again. I'm going to call it a Red Russian or a Big Daddy. Red Russian, Big Daddy, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Big Daddy needs another one, though.
Coming right up, Big Daddy.
Thank you, Sue. I got 2 tickets to Charleston Southern Florida State basketball, TLC, Double C. You get the University Center Club. No, they don't have that there. What do they have?
Just straight club seats.
Club seats,
Club
baby.
seats, man. Ooh, that got your attention, didn't it?
We're
Club
clubbing,
seats.
7 o'clock, December the 18th. That's Monday. You going to be in town? You want to go to the game? Okay, we got you covered. 523-3776. A pair of those right now. Caller 3. Make it happen. Let's go. 523-3776. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Next. Stay tuned.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on Earth, can give you the best year-end deal on Earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
$750. And when you buy Energy Star appliances, you save twice. You'll save when you get the rebate from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, and you'll save again on your utility bill, because it's a fact that Energy Star appliances use less energy than their non-Energy Star counterparts. So look for the Energy Star when you shop local for appliances this holiday season. Get all the Energy Star rebate details at talgov.com. Your own utilities. Click on products and services, and all will be revealed. 'Tis the season to save. Save energy and save money with the City of Tallahassee Utilities Energy Star rebates. You'll save with the rebate, and you save on your utility bill. Happy holidays from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities, and America's #1 public utility.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let Mahindra show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth. And hurry in for up to $7,400 in special Mahindra cash back and savings.
North Florida and South Georgia's authorized Mahindra dealer is TNT Super Center, US 19 South in Thomasville, and at TNTSuperCenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the program. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. If you do miss things, we got it. Post it every day upon the conclusion of the program, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault, so you can always find it. Email the show if you like. It's jcs@979espnradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameron Show, WTSM app, good for mobile devices. And we're on YouTube if you want to watch us do the show, ESPN Tallahassee. Every Friday we talk to our friend Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. It's bowl season. And I do want to say this. Lee's had a really good run lately, especially in the NFL, man. 10-1 on his current run in the NFL, 33-11 on his 40 to 50 unit plays this year. 33-11 will win you money. And so it's been a good year, Lee.
Yeah, it has, and even on, we rate our games from 10 to 50 units. I don't like to call them second level plays, but we only have probably 4 to 5 40 to 50 unit plays a year, and we will have our college football 45 unit game of the year coming up in a couple weeks. Our 30 to 35 unit plays. How about this? We're on a 35-13 run dating back to last November. So this is your last chance. You want to get involved. How about this? Normally, what I do is I pick one city each week where I have an even greater discount. Normally, it's $4.97 from now through the Super Bowl, and that'll include the last 3 weeks of the NFL season. There's 41 bowl games this year. I'll probably have something on like probably 35 to 37 of them, NFL playoffs and Super Bowl. If they come aboard, I won't do the save $100 coupon. I'll add $50 to it. I'm going to add it right now. Save $150. That's SAVE and the number 150. That'll bring it all the way down to $347.
$347, and folks, ParamountSports.com, where you go to get started there. All right, let me ask you this, Lee. I always do this because, you know, look, I make no secret of it on the show. I like to gamble, and I bet these games, and I'm in bowl pools, and I do all that stuff. So I'm the guy that you're looking for in that way. And you know, one of the things I find difficult is the bowl season because there's so much transition. Guys are coming and going. Guys are angry or happy. And really, a lot of times it's less about the physical matchup and more about who gives a damn to be there.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you...
I mean, we've seen some teams, that 10, 15, almost 20-point underdogs win these bowl games. So it's, if we've seen Florida State stumble. I mean, a couple of years ago, look what happened to them. So it's important. We've got to find out, first of all, the coaching situation. I mean, how about the Scott Frost situation? He's going to come back and coach his team, his old team, Central Florida, which I think is great. Let them go for the perfect season. But how about situations like Arizona State where they fire a coach and he's staying on for the month and he's going to coach the bowl game? So you have to sift through and see if the players are happy about that and if they want to win for them, or are they going through the motions in practice? And then the last 2 years, the new phenomenon where players don't want to risk injury. So that's what we do. We spend all that extra time, and that's what you have to do if you want to be successful winning in the bowls.
Well, right off the bat, I don't know what to do, for example, and I've told my listeners that I'm not betting it, but Florida State minus 15.5 against Southern Miss, I don't really know how to read this game whatsoever, and I'll attempt to. Obviously, physically, Florida State's a superior team, right. but I don't, first of all, there's talk that Sweat and McFadden aren't going to play. Derwin James has already said he's not going to play. So you're losing 3 starters on your defense before you ever step foot on the field. You got a new coach coming in. I know they'll play hard for Odell, but it's just a tough read, and that's a lot of points. And that's also a pretty good Southern Miss team.
Yeah, they have some weapons at quarterback and the skill positions. And if you're missing key players like that, I think it makes a difference here. The new coaches coming in, some old coaches staying around and coaching the bowl game, that's usually – not a recipe for success. So I think, like I said, I think it's just too many points, 15.5 points. I have Florida State winning this game. They're going to win the game something like 27-20, but I'm going to take Southern Miss in the 15.5 here.
Yeah, if I was playing it, I'd do the exact same thing. Wisconsin's given 6.5 against Miami.
Were you a little surprised at this line?
I was, but I'll say this. Okay, so if you think Miami is not completely deflated and downtrodden about the ass beaten in the ACC championship game and the way the season ended, and you believe they'll play hard, then 6.5 seems like way too many for Wisconsin to be giving.
Yeah.
If you think Miami is on a downward slide and had their dreams smashed, then you can understand the line.
I always thought that Miami was going down to Clemson big, so I went with Clemson on our last show two weeks ago. I think the crowd they're going to play for the home folks. I think their best 2 games obviously were Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. I don't know if they'll be that clean, but you're gonna lay 6.5, 7 points in Wisconsin, a team that. How about this? They only played one team that's decent the whole year, Ohio State, and they only put up 298 yards. Miami's defense is still pretty good, and especially at home. So I think Miami, I think they realized that they were a year ahead of schedule. I mean, I know some people talk to their coaches. They were shocked they were in that position and sitting at 10-0. So I think Miami's going to rebound here, and I think they're going to win the game outright 24-20.
Yeah, I wouldn't lay 6.5 there either. No. I don't like the game because I don't know if Miami. I'm going to trust you on this one, but
I'm hearing the practices are pretty good.
Well, that's good. I'm going to call you one more time before that game's played.
Okay.
Auburn's given 9.5 against UCF. This is an interesting game, especially now that UCF's was a defensive tackle came out and talked about beating Auburn soundly.
And how about Adrian Killens talking about I think something like the SEC doesn't have the speed that they have?
Yeah. I've heard 2 players for UCF talking smack against Auburn. That's interesting.
Yeah. If I was the coach, and obviously the coach coaching the game isn't there right now, I would be telling him, listen, don't say anything.
Yeah, I'd be like, shut the hell up.
Let's sneak into town. Let's do it like Oklahoma did a couple years ago to Alabama. They don't want to be here, Auburn. I normally would go with Auburn. The biggest problem in backing them is their running back situation. They already lost Pedway. He's done for the year. Kerryon Johnson. If you listen to Malzahn in his press conference a couple of days ago, he hinted that he's not right. Even if he tries to play, he's nowhere near 100%. And without those 2 guys, Central Florida is better at the skill position. And I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. I have Auburn winning the game 34-30, but I have Central Florida covering.
It's a big number, yeah. 9.5 is a big number. Georgia's giving 2 to Oklahoma. I don't like betting against Baker Mayfield, period. I just don't. Right. He's taught me enough to know that dude is a beast. And I like Georgia. I understand. I like him. It's a good team. But, man, I don't bet against Baker. So who you got?
Another team I think that's a year ahead of schedule, Georgia. They were, I think, a little surprised. And the reason I think they got there is, number one, revenge. In-season revenge is great. After you've seen the team already once and you lost that game, those kids, are going to be pumped for that game. And Auburn had no running backs for that game and didn't have the offense. Baker Mayfield, I don't know what kind of pro he's going to be. In fact, I don't think he's going to be a great pro.
Me neither.
But and we're in the minority. Some people love him. I just don't think he fits in the pro game like he does the college game. Here's an example of what the kid's all about. Texas takes the lead in that game. 8-9 minutes to go in the game. What does he do? First play, 75-yard touchdown. and never gave up the lead. The kid's an absolute stud. They're going to win by double digits, 35-24.
Yeah, I got Oklahoma big here, too. You and I are in good shape here. We're in lockstep, buddy. Now, I will say this. If Clemson would have played Alabama the week after the ACC championship game, they would have beat Alabama's ass. I don't think that would have been a competitive game. Clemson fans have to hate, and if you're an Alabama fan, you have to love that you got 30 days to prep for this one because you can get healthy at linebacker, which is a big damn deal. So all of a sudden, Alabama -2, I kind of understand to some degree, or at least the fact that the line's close. I would have taken Clemson in a landslide earlier, but what do you do with the month off?
It helps Alabama in a sense. I mean, because they were coming off a game against Miami. Everything went right. It was the perfect performance. And I just don't know if you can duplicate that kind of performance. And you got the revenge factor here, and that's been big, we've seen. And I think this is big for Nick Saban. He loses this game, and then people start talking about Dabo as maybe the best coach in college football. Because he beat Alabama head-to-head 2 out of 3 times. They got it going. I mean, they're recruiting. They're developing players. He's keeping, most of his assistants. Good place to be right now. I think, though, that Nick Saban's going to throw some new wrinkles here. And Miami had some receivers open in that game, but Rozier just couldn't find them. I mean, he couldn't get them to him. And trust me, Alabama's got some home run hitters at wide receiver, and I think they're going to hit on some big plays. I like Alabama 27-20.
Fun game. I'm really looking forward to that one as much as I am any game in the bowl season. All right, the game of the week is out of the NFL, and I know you hit it big with Jacksonville against Seattle, or maybe it was the previous week. Can't remember which one it was, but I know you had Jayville big. Oh, that was against Indianapolis, and you covered that one big time.
Right, 30-10.
Yep, easy cover there, even with those people out. Good job on that one. Jacksonville's given 11.5 to Houston. It's your game of the week. How can folks get it?
Just call the number 800-400-9741. You get Jacksonville and Houston on me. Big game for Jacksonville. They win this game if 2 things happen, and they could have home field advantage. So you want to find out if they win and cover this game against Houston, who, some weeks looks great, some weeks doesn't look very good at all. So 800-400-9741 is the number to get that. Like I said, you want to hop on and get my bowl package, every bowl game, NFL playoffs, Super Bowl in the last 3 weeks of the NFL season. For your listeners only, they use coupon code SAVE150, just $347. I'm running it only in the Tallahassee market this weekend, not SAVE100, SAVE150, $347 through the Super Bowl. It's all available. It's what a year we've had. It's all available at ParamountSports.com.
Be good, brother. Talk to you real soon. Happy holidays.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, take care. That's Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. And, he had Jacksonville in that Indianapolis game. And at that time, I think there was no Telvin and there was no – was Fournette playing in that game? There were 2 big players absent in that game.
Was another defensive back, maybe?
Might have been, yeah. I remember being – Ramsey. Was Ramsey not playing in that game?
I don't remember.
I believe that's –
I believe it might have been Boye. I forget.
I think it was Ramsey. But anyhow, the point was I was thinking, well, that'll be interesting because it's a big number. NFL digits, 9-10 points is a lot, but they did cover quite easily. So I knew that was his home run pick in the NFL because I was trying to warn him. Like, we went to break, and I went, hey, man, they're missing 2 key people. He's like, doesn't matter. They're going to blow them out. Okay. So he nailed that one. That was good. I'm on a good run NFL-wise right now, and that included Jacksonville last week against Seattle with my pick there and covering the 2.5. That seemed like nothing to give to Seattle. It did. It just felt like an easy pick.
So you're going to call some in this week? Do you still feel like you got the hot hand?
Yeah, I do. I feel good. I got NFL games on the mind right now. I think you can start to get a better feel for, listen, the teams that have nothing to play for. You really do. I mean, it's an interesting time of year because you've got – it's funny, you're juggling here. There's the knowledge that you have of just football in general and the way the game's played. And so week to week, you see what teams are, you assess them, matchups that are good or bad for them. Then there's the fantasy football that we all engage in where, you're like, well, my guys may not have anything to play for, and I need them to play hard this week, and I wonder against that opponent if they get a lead, will they pull my guy? And so you're calculating your fantasy starters and doing things like that. And then there's the gambling angle, which is constantly about, hey, at this time of year, Team A's got motivation to play well in this game and needs to do this, this, and this in order to get to the playoffs. And Team B, they're out of it. They're playing for next year. They're competing for jobs. They're looking at maybe firing their head coach. what's that worth in a point spread? Trying to figure out what that means, and that's what Vegas is doing too. And I find all of that fascinating. You'll see some weird lines when you get down the final 3 weeks of the season. And we got marquee games this weekend too. New England and Pittsburgh being the biggest.
Yeah, the first real example I can remember of that, really good example, was when Indianapolis would just straight tank in Week 16 and Week 17 in some cases because they were so good with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, they were.
It'd be like Jim Sorgi would be in,
and you're going, damn it,
right?
Yeah,
and other teams would get mad. Remember, because there would be implications for another division, and they might help the Patriots in a sense, or they might help a team in the AFC West. And other teams would complain. You got to play your players. And
that was always
screw you.
Integrity in the sport.
We have 13 wins in our first 14 games. I think we're going to chill. Home field throughout. Mm-hmm. We're good. Jim Sorgi's going to get the call this weekend.
I got something I want to talk about when we come back that is going to make us feel better, a lot better, about the situation at Clemson, because Lee's not wrong. It's a good place to be right now. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Specials as well. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener is also your home for OSHA-compliant dust solutions for all your concrete needs. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and December is here, and that means huge inventory reduction pricing on remaining 2017 Nissans. New Nissan Versa starting at just $10,995, and discounts on the baddest new truck in America, the Nissan Titan, up to $10,000. The deals are so hot, we ran out of 2017 Rogue S models, but don't worry, Kraft Nissan is going to give you a Rogue SV model for the price of an S, and you pick up a power seat, iKey, and alloy wheels at no charge. I'm telling you, the best selection on remaining 2017 models is now at Kraft Nissan. And you folks that wait each year for the best price on model year closeout, it's here. And if you haven't heard, Kraft Nissan is now a full-line Nissan commercial vehicle dealer. So buy that new Titan, Armada, or NV commercial van. Take advantage of accelerated depreciation on your 2017 tax return. Plus, all new Kraft Nissans come with our exclusive lifetime warranty and 2 years or 20,000 miles of free oil changes. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Price includes dealer preparation charge.
The morning they've been waiting for is almost here. But don't worry if your Christmas tree could still use a little more love. Walmart's got your back with a great collection of last-minute gifts. The kids will be thrilled to find favorites like Barbie Dreamhouse and Google Home Mini under the tree. Wow. And with Walmart's everyday low prices, you can bring even more joy to the big day. So use the Walmart app or head to your local store to bring the holidays home today.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Let me stress it ain't the cuisine. The eggs are all running, the hash browns smell funny, and the coffee tastes like gasoline.
This is Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Following up on what Lee Sterling was just talking about, and that I mentioned as we went to break, popular place to be, of course, is at Clemson right now where things are working out well. But I will just say that it is always nice when, redshirt sophomores and other eligible players on a defense that has been the terror of the ACC and, quite frankly, the nation over the last 4 years are in the pre-draft, mock draft moments that begin now, listed in the first round, Tom. So, sirs, while you may love Clemson and have thoroughly enjoyed your time, no doubt, and you may have trepidation, draft-eligible redshirt sophomore D-tackle, about leaving so early, I assure you it's okay. You have helped Clemson achieve all that they can at this point. You've won a national title. You're back in the college football playoff. What's left for you, young man? All of you on that defense that are now considering leaving early. How thrilled you must be to see that your name is mentioned alongside other individuals from all around the country listed in the first round of the NFL draft. I've been sneaking a peek as of late, and every time that I did, I thought, surely I'm going to see names of Clemson football players set to be drafted awfully high, and I have not been let down. In some cases, 4 players in the first round. Starts with a guy we may want in Farrell, the defensive end out of Clemson, who should come to Tampa Bay, perhaps.
Clemson defensive ends, okay. I know Vic Beasley turned it around. Sort of.
Yeah.
Last year he did.
Yeah. You don't want him?
I don't know.
You're just worried.
I want to take a look at Arden Key a little bit. That's who I want to see. And who knows where the Bucs are picking? Well, we could work this up to a top 5 pick before it's all said and done.
Christian Wilkins is a talented young man out of Clemson that certainly is taking it on to the pros at 6'4", 310 pounds. He's been very, very good at the point of attack.
Total freak since day one.
Time for him to take it to the league.
It was time for him after his first game as a freshman. I was like, what is he doing here? 3 years? This is stupid.
Pisses me off. But, Austin Bryant, another premier talent, taking it to the league, Tom Lang. That's right. Let's usher in all of these Clemson defenders and welcome them to the National Football League. Children, there's just no reason for you, even with extra years of eligibility that remain, to even entertain the idea of returning to your beloved Clemson Tiger program. You have done all that you can for that fine institution.
Whether or not they win the game, and I understand why Lee is thinking Alabama with health and time can really give Clemson a run there.
Well, that's also why I said that I believe that if Clemson were to have played Alabama the week after the championship game, or even this weekend, I'm taking Clemson. But Alabama has been hamstrung with serious injuries on defense and had to play guys that just weren't ready.
I still think Clemson's just better than Alabama this season.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
But I wouldn't say definitively so to the tune where, I think it's going to be a beaten come New Year's Day. But, yeah, man.
Well, you just, the whole deal. I mean, it's hard. You give that guy that much time to prepare, he'll have something. I mean, they'll be in the game.
But give Dabo time to prepare. When did we talk about that? I mean, they laid the lumber on Ohio State in round 1 last year, on Oklahoma the year before. I mean, the dude comes ready to play.
He does.
And it's annoying, I know.
I wish you hadn't brought it up. He does.
But we talk about Saban with 30 days. I mean, Dabo and that staff with 30 days
I think
prepared.
it's partly because I'm the last guy who's, has no affiliation with Clemson whatsoever, who's still stained by the 77 points they gave up to West Virginia in the Orange Bowl. I'm like, what the hell was that, Dabo? And I've held it against him ever since, which is ludicrous because they've more than made up for it with wins over LSU and Oklahoma and Ohio State and Alabama. And, yeah, I mean, that's a who's who of who you have to beat to be considered elite. So, yeah, I'm wrong on that. I know I am.
Ohio State twice and Oklahoma twice. Once with Deshaun not even playing in that game. What was the kid's name? The kid they started against us here in 2014.
Cole Stout.
Who
wasn't any good at all, and he lit it up.
Yeah, that's right.
He lit it up, went crazy.
They tuned Oklahoma.
Yeah, they did. It's nuts. It is nuts. It's hard to imagine, but they did. You're right. That has happened. Don't know what to tell you, but I do know those kids need to take it on down the road. It's time, because one of the things that I've been most impressed with, in truth, about Clemson, it was, let's not forget that first great wave of talent that they had enter the NFL that we thought would be a part of why Clemson would then take a step back, that you can't lose that much on defense from one year, a great year, to the next and expect to be elite. But we didn't know they'd have a true freshman kick ass and look like a dominant inside, God, Lord, I'm thinking about 3 different guys they had that were either sophomores or freshmen that immediately dominated.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt. And you know what? I got to give Brad Edwards credit. He nailed it again this year. He said, I know what I've said about, championship teams following up the next year, but I think Clemson's in a position to reload this year and just be, and he was talking about how, the general level of play should probably dip this year. Like there's no clear-cut team of 2017. And he thought that Clemson would be back, right in the mix for the playoff again this year. That dude has it right, man. He has a good read on championship teams the next year.
Well, I respect Brad Edwards, and, he gets some things wrong because there's no analyst in the world that doesn't. I mean,
Correct.
It's hard to know, especially when you're dealing with college kids. But I think by and large his reasoning is very sound, and he travels the country. I've talked to him 3 times this year as a guest on on College Game Day Radio. And every time I talk to him, I enjoy my conversation, and his analysis is usually spot on. And when he doesn't know something, he asks the local people. And so one of the things that I'll say about what he does is that he finds guys in each market that covers their team. Now, I know in this market that's me, and I'm not trying to brag, but I'm saying he gets to know guys like me in other markets that are tuned into the local program, and he'll say, or he'll ask them either before the season or during interviews during the season, hey, what do you think of this? Or what's the mood there in Tallahassee? What's it like? I'm hearing rumblings. There's a problem between this coach and this player, or this coach and this coach. And what are you guys hearing? And I think he takes it very seriously because he knows the people on the ground, man. They're your eyes and ears. When you're up in Bristol, you can't know those things. You've got to ask people, and you got to find people you can trust.
Well, what I'm saying is it struck me when you conducted that preseason interview.
Yeah, and he thought they'd be back.
Well, because of what we thought we were going to be.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to come on Tallahassee Radio and say, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I think Clemson is the team out of the ACC.
Let me tell you what I think is interesting while we're on that subject, and we, again, are going back and looking at the season that was, the 6-6 season that has been. And the myriad of things that went wrong or that went right, very few things went right, or what led to Jimbo leaving and where we are now. It seems to me, in retrospect, hindsight being 2020, that a lot of national people had a feeling, and I rip the national guys a lot because they get a lot wrong because they have to look big picture and they can only take surface level material. They don't get into the nuts and bolts of what are the issues at each school. They can't. They don't have the time. That's the one hindrance you have when you're national. Now, you have resources and you have opportunity that you don't have locally here in some of the smaller markets. But what you don't have is that the eyes and ears on the ground all the time on a day-to-day basis letting you know about nuance, certain context. But what they got right was the game day guys, by and large, when they were asked to make their preseason picks, felt real trepidation about Florida State. A lot of them did. A lot of them thought, something's not right there. David Pollock even said it. Something's not right there. I can tell they're not on the same page. Something's not right. I don't trust them, was his quote. I don't trust them. I think they're ranked too highly. And I remember other guys, maybe not as high profile as the game day guys, but national ESPN guys, either in articles, whether you're talking about a guy like Stanford Steve or people like that, saying something's not right in Tallahassee. And I think that means that whispers were beginning to get out that Jimbo's relationship was souring behind the scenes with, obviously, boosters. Who knows about other coaches?
Well, I think that's the thing that would make make its way into the ears of
I do too.
ESPN personnel.
I think
they
that's
don't care
accurate.
about the booster relationship. That's not going to affect wins and losses in a given season.
No, that's a big long-term thing. Although they certainly were spoon-fed what information they had after the rumors came out that Jimbo was leaving. They were spoon-fed by Jimbo because their talking points were all his talking points. Lack of passion in facilities. Okay.
Yeah, Kirk bought that hook, line, and
Of course
sinker,
he
didn't
did, because Jimbo called him and told him. That's exactly how that went. Or he called Jimbo.
But they have a good relationship.
Sure.
They do.
Well, right. And that's why when you heard it, you thought, oh, well, who's on the back end of that one? Who's feeding you that, buddy?
But you could hear it, too, in national broadcasts. Since, Jimbo is now out the door, I suppose we can talk about that a little bit more openly without burning the source, right? But a lot of the same talking points that you tell me from Jimbo in a weekly interview. Let's just say the next week Kirk is calling the game. Well, those were the exact same. Syntax was the same.
Right.
So that tells you that he's good at his job in this sense. He's either
calling
recording
coaches.
it or he's taking notes. He's taking copious notes. He's putting things in quotes because when he talks about a player, like that Jimbo thinks is going to come up and make a couple of plays this next weekend, but we haven't seen before. When Kirk talks about him, the syntax is exactly the same. So Jimbo trusts Kirk. There are very few people that Jimbo trusts.
Well, Jimbo knows what a lot of coaches who properly utilize ESPN as a tool for their benefit, he knows what they know, which is that whether you like the people, whether you're talking about Chris Fowler or Kirk Herbstreit or Pollock or to a degree, what's his face?
Desmond?
Desmond Howard. That if they come to the university to preview a game, or they're going to do game day here, or they're in your office to be interviewed, or they want information and they call and they ask you to call, you got to do that. I mean, big-time coaches understand that, A, you got to give them morsels so that they continue to think positively of you, but B, you got to do that so that you can hand them things that you need when you need it, so that they'll regurgitate it, because they do.
Well, but also, as the story goes, Jimbo trusted Kirk and Rinaldi.
Well, he trusted Rinaldi big time.
Above all others when it came to the Jameis issues here on campus.
Well, and they were fair. Those guys were fair. They chose to be objective when they interviewed Jameis, and also when they did pieces on that. There weren't too many at ESPN that were. There weren't too many across the country that were, but those guys were fair, and I think he appreciated that. And also, never forget, Rinaldi did a good piece involving Ethan and Fanconi anemia and what Jimbo and Candy were trying to get accomplished, and that was a really good piece too.
Man, there is enough to write a book about that, isn't there? The behind the scenes of the Jameis.
Well,
if you ever wanted to pen one.
I've thought about it. I mean, we saw and know so many things that never came out, and I don't mean that in a nefarious way. I'm not saying there's hidden evidence. I'm saying just things that were never brought up that would have changed the narrative completely had that been made public by, say, the New York Times.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, certain lies of omission.
But I think even, just from an entertainment standpoint, you could have a chapter on Rinaldi. There's enough stories between, when he was here.
And I got to see him at the draft.
And then the draft party, and then the letter he takes and hands Jameis after their interview, and the problem with the generator out there, that their truck wasn't working.
You should go and listen when you get a chance. It's not a podcast that I love, but I've listened to it occasionally when the right guest is on. Richard Deitch, his podcast,
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. He can be incredibly annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Go listen to the one where Rinaldi's the guest. He's weird, dude. That's all I'm gonna say. He's a weird cat, man. Go listen to that interview. When you do, you're gonna go, okay, all my suspicions confirmed.
Right.
I mean, it's bizarre.
But that's where his ability to turn, a weekend event, be it, a golf major or a national title game, into a 2-minute piece that's really well written.
Really well written.
Yeah.
He's good at his job.
The ability to do that in a short, turnaround time.
It's unbelievable.
That it comes with a cost.
Yes. It's creepy. Just a little weird. Anyhow, Clemson defenders, make it on down the road, boys. Go ahead. Have a good one.
It was their time to stand on the dais.
It's your time to stand and take it on down the road. Get paid, kids. No need to go back to Clemson.
Roger that.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on Earth, can give you the best year-end deal on Earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my poor truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Hey, golfers and holiday shoppers, Edwin Watts has the best deals for you and the golfers on your list. Bushnell is the #1 rangefinder in golf, and right now you can save $50 on the Pro X2, Tour V4, and V4 Shift Patriot Packs, and save $50 on the XL watch. Give the gift of distance with TaylorMade's newest irons, P790s and MCGBs. Save on the most complete tour ball, the TP5 and TP5X, now $39.99 a dozen. And gift cards are the perfect pick for the hard-to-shop-for golfer. Buy with confidence at Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
At Whole Foods Market, we believe in real food. Food that's full of nutrients, naturally vivid and colorful, fresh and delicious. Food that connects you to your body, to the seasons, and to the natural world. We believe food should nourish you and help you think. It should help you feel calm, clear-headed, and strong. It should help you do more, sleep better, and wake up happier. That's food that lives up to its name. We believe in real food. Whole Foods Market.
Can't decide between fresh steak, seafood, or wings? Well, Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway has it all. From center-cut sirloin and original pastas to fresh salads and favorites like Miller's Signature Zingers, tossed in your favorite sauce. Miller's Ale House has a full-service bar featuring more than 75 beers, plus wine and liquors. Bring the family to watch the big game inside or on their covered patio on one of over 60 HD TVs. However you come to relax, you will have a good time and great food at Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Next hour, be sure and stick with us. We'll bring in Florida A&M head football coach Willie Simmons, new on the job. Look forward to talking to him. Obviously, Willie kind of coming home. So an opportunity there to hopefully get FAMU turned around. Alex Wood earlier this year stepping down and did some things really well behind the scenes, caught some tough breaks on the field. Willie Simmons is here to try to obviously restore glory to a once very, very proud program at Florida A&M. We'll talk to him about the task at hand. We'll do that next hour. Looking forward to it. By the way, we're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free always. Should note that it's also time, Tom, for Wash Around the Clock. More watching, less washing. Let's do it.
Jeff, what's your plan with all of this laundry?
Not my job.
Excuse me, get off the couch already.
Wash Around the Clock's got it. More watching, less washing.
Ooh. Best husband ever.
Yay me. A lot of bowl games. Yay me, best husband ever. See, that was...
Okay.
It wasn't just random.
No, I thought you were referencing the bowl games. You know, that's why I was laughing. Yay me, more bowl games.
Well, I am excited about the bowl games. Yay me in that regard is fair. More watching, really less washing does apply in this set of circumstances. I think that's absolutely fair. Also, use my JCS discount code and get yourself some money off.
20%?
20% off is right. TallahasseeLaundry.com will let you onto the website. You'll see the little headline that says, Easy Laundry, right there in the middle of the page. Click on that sucker. Point, click, clean. Get it done. Make it happy. Pick up the delivery. We both use it at home or your office. They can do either. Ultimate convenience and time saver. That's the whole thing about this is that, look, we can all do laundry. It's not hard. It just takes up a lot of time. And especially if you're like me where you have wife and 2 kids, it feels like all you're doing is laundry when you're home. And so I signed up. I joined in. I utilized the service because if I was going to endorse it, I wanted to be able to tell you why. And the reason is because, again, it saves a lot of time and money because time is money. So make it happen. Find out what I'm talking about. They've got plans for everybody. They'll wash and fold your clothes for you, bring it back in a neat, well put together package, and you're all good to go. They'll come back later in the week. You can do it once a week, do it twice a week. You can sign up for that, plus dry cleaning, pressing. They do all of it, and Tom knows this just as I do because he utilizes the service. Although you didn't utilize it this week, buddy. You just had no clothes this week.
I know. And you know what? I'm paying for it now because guess who has to do the laundry?
See
My
there.
fault.
Well, yeah, I was wondering if you're going to bring them in.
No. The week got away from me.
Door-to-door service, folks. TallahasseeLaundry.com. Easy laundry from our friends at Wash Around the Clock. Yeah, I'm just going to say the bowl games. I mean, that's what I'm going to say. It's, how happy are we? We got the bowl games. We got NFL football, by the way, mixed in this weekend as well.
That's right.
On a Saturday. That's
Saturday night, Kansas City and San Diego. There you go. There's a heavyweight fight. That game means a lot to both of those teams.
It does, and I suspect it's going to be a fun game to watch. Angry Phillip Rivers against what Kansas City is making with their last stand, basically. It's you could not have envisioned at the start of the season that this game would look this way. I mean, when you go back to the way Kansas City was playing, what you saw, obviously, was the fact that, hey, they're going to run away with this division. They're going to score a lot of points. Alex Smith has transformed who he is, throwing the ball down the field, Tyreek Hill and all that good stuff. You know, good running back that nobody had ever heard of. And all of a sudden, you're like, look at this Hill and Hunt and all the talent everywhere. They got a star tight end. They got Alex Smith playing like he's Dan Marino throwing the ball down the field. But it all went away.
It did, and, San Diego catches this game at the right time in this sense. The weather tomorrow night is only going to be in the 40s. And usually Kansas City in December on a Saturday night, it could be 15 degrees.
Dicey.
0 degrees. But this will be rather balmy considering where the game is going to be played tomorrow. And, yeah, I mean, it's even to the point with Kansas City where Andy Reid had to, give up play calling. He decided, you know what, enough of this. He's been doing that his whole career.
I give him credit, man. It's hard to do, man. You think about that. You talk about removing your ego?
Well, and he was the best coach in the NFL for a decade, right? Off of a bye. I mean, that's one thing that you knew about him.
Just didn't lose.
But they lost to the Giants off of a bye. That's how far out of control this season has spiraled for Kansas City. But they still have a chance to win the division. It's like, if you want to look at the glass half full, you say, well, you messed around here. You've completely ceded control of the division, but it's still within your grasp to take it back.
Yeah, it's still a possibility. Well,
and that's what tomorrow night is all about.
One thing I'll say is you get that game, and it's exciting, and you get, of course, Chicago and Detroit, not exciting. I think that's a Saturday game as well.
Yeah, it's the matinee game. I'll watch Bowls instead. Or, it'll be the tail end of the Knowles game, too, into the 4 o'clock hour.
That was the other more watching, less washing aspect that I was going to bring up is, of course, Florida State plays tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Looking forward to it. Florida State ranked for the first time this year at number 19, 9-0. Oklahoma State, 7-2. BBT Center there in Sunrise. Look for my boy Matt. He'll be there with family in tow, ready to watch a little basketball. They'll be the only people in the stands. It's the first game of the 24th annual Orange Bowl Classic doubleheader televised on Fox Sports/Sun. So that would be 4:02.
So is this just subsidized by the Orange Bowl, and that's how they pay for this thing? Because it can't be a moneymaker.
Certainly not at the gate.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how is this thing, profitable in any way?
Have you been to Sunrise? Have you been to the stadium where the Panthers play?
No, I drove by it last time. The one time I've been to Miami, which was this fall. But
yeah.
I know it's it's near the it's near the highway and very detached from Miami, as you might think of it.
Yeah. It's
closer to the Everglades, isn't it?
It's fun to watch. Yeah, you go to the. I've gone to a Panthers game there. I've been to Springsteen concert there. I've been to a couple things that are fun down there. I always stop at the Los Tacos before we make our way over.
Is it closer to that? So, like where Matt lives, is it closer to that?
Pretty close, yeah.
Than say the AAA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's closer. Florida State, by the way, is all-time 7-1 in the event. So this has been very good to us. We have gone down there and won a lot of basketball games.
Usually
ugly. It began in 94. By the way, Florida, who's playing in the second half of the doubleheader against Clemson, is 16-2 all-time at that event. The Hurricanes have also been a participant. They're just 6-11, Tom. Yeah. So Florida State's been real good. Florida's been real good. Miami has just been terrible. Just something to point out. They're 6-11 in their career in this thing. We shook off the rust. I think I was home last year. Well, I say home. This is home. I was in Bradenton last year visiting family pre-Christmas because I was doing Christmas up here. And I went to a wing joint with my wife. We kind of used it as an opportunity to get away from the house for a little while.
Sure.
Yeah. And
when you're not in your own home, you like to get out of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we went to this place by a really kick-ass liquor store, I might add, where I got a great scotch that I had been looking for years. But anyhow, literally years, couldn't find it anywhere. And it's a pricey one. The guy was so thrilled when I said I was going to buy it. I don't want to be a braggadocio guy here, but I'm just telling you, I laid some pretty pennies down on this scotch because I can't find it. And I saw it in the thing, and the guy walked over and he goes, oh, well, that's yeah, you like this? Maybe I don't look rich or something. My man walks over and he's like, oh, well, sir, that is a fine scotch. But he's like budding before I even say anything. It's in a locked case. And I go, oh, man, I've been looking for that bottle for a long time. Now, you would think if you were a good salesman that you hear a guy say, I'm a middle-aged guy. I'm looking, he might think, who knows? Maybe this guy's got all the money in the world. Maybe he's dirt broke and he's just saved all his money for this scotch. Who knows? But he just told me he's been looking for this bottle.
He's going to pour it in a pint glass with a bunch of ice.
I'd punch somebody. But so, you would think, right? Oh, this is my guy. I've been trying to sell that bottle of scotch forever. I can't get it out of that glass case. No, not this guy. He's like trying to almost shoo me off, like I'm wasting his time. I'm like, you son of a bitch, I'm going to buy the scotch. I was so mad. So he said it the second time, he kind of, one of those sort of, oh, but there's a scotch that is very similar.
Get out of the way, dude.
Yeah. You talk about a terrible salesman.
He's a downseller. He's not an upseller.
I'm looking at a Porsche, and he's trying to sell me a bug. I'm like, my man, what are we doing? So
Those are both wrong answers. You want a Pathfinder from Kraft Nissan is what you want. Fully loaded, of course.
Nicely done. But no, he's sitting there, and he goes, well, there's, if you like that scotch, and it is a great scotch, you should look. And I finally go, how many of those bottles do you have? Because I was thinking about buying 2. And he goes, oh, well, we may have one in the back, but that one's been in there for some time. I go, well, I'm buying that one. Can you check on the other? And this stunned look on his face. I wanted to slap him. Anyhow, so I go to this wing place, and we sit down, and we're watching the game. And it's hot as Hades down in Bradenton, which pissed me off. And it's kind of got an outdoorsy vibe, and there's a lot of – there's a
lot of what?
just
clientele that you wouldn't. Yeah.
So here's the thing: we're sitting there, and I tried to move on, Tom. And as we're sitting there, it's a knockoff wing joint. It's not even the kind. It's like this other kind that calls themselves this thing that is supposed to be similar to the other one.
It's Rochester Wild Wings.
Right. It's just ridiculous.
Adirondack
Yeah,
wings.
it's just ridiculous. So we're sitting there. I had the worst service. I'm trying to watch that game. I had the worst service. I figured, well, they can't screw up the wings. They're a wing joint. You know, I mean, I'll just get the wings. So I get the wings. I order a beer. Clearly, they hadn't cleared the lines. The beer tasted terrible. And then the wings came. Worst wings I've ever had. I'm still angry about this situation. That's what happened.
So that whole strip mall can go to hell is what you're saying.
Yes, that whole area, that little area is not
they weren't attached to the same strip mall.
Except for that liquor store is great. It's a great one.
It's got a bad salesperson.
Well, they need to hire somebody who knows what they're doing. When they see a guy ready to pull the trigger on an expensive scotch, they'll shoo him off and try to buy. He pointed me towards a $50 scotch. I'm like, my man, I'm trying to give this place a lot of money.
This is going to sound like an endorsement style thing, but it's a true story. And I just talked to my friend this week. He works in the greater Tampa Bay area, and he works for a Nissan dealership. And so I told when I got the car,
I'm sure it's no Kraft Nissan.
Well, when I got the car from Kraft, I told him, like, listen, man, I got a good deal. He goes, listen, you don't want to tell me what you paid because you're going to be mad when I tell you what you actually should have paid. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll sit on this for a little while.
Because everybody does have to make a profit.
Right, exactly. And he's, he's a sales manager level. Yeah, he knows what it should.
Yeah.
So today I finally decided, you know what? Let me ask. It's been 7 months now. I love this freaking car. Actually closer to 9 months. Holy smokes.
Time flies, yeah. I've had my Pathfinder for a couple of years, and this is the second one I've had.
And I'm telling you, this is a true story. This isn't for purposes because I don't endorse. I just got a good deal. And so I texted him the parameters. I'm like, all right, so credit score, miles, money down, all this stuff. And he's like, oh, dude, no, you got yourself a hell of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about
there
that?
You go.
So now I rest assured, like, oh, okay.
Now you feel good about it. All right, final hour, forthcoming. Stay with us. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my poor truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Strong. It should help you do more, sleep better, and wake up happier. That's food that lives up to its name. We believe in real food. Whole Foods Market.
Hey, golfers and holiday shoppers, Edwin Watts has the best deals for you and the golfers on your list. Bushnell is the #1 rangefinder in golf, and right now you can save $50 on the Pro X2, Tour V4, and V4 Shift Patriot Packs, and save $50 on the XL watch. Give the gift of distance with TaylorMade's newest irons, P790s and MCGBs. Save on the most complete tour ball, the TP5 and TP5X, now $39.99 a dozen. And gift cards are the perfect pick for the hard-to-shop-for golfer. Buy with confidence at Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities says 'tis the season to save energy and money. And that's why your own utilities says it's time to focus on those Energy Star appliances, like clothes washers, dishwashers, refrigerators, and freezers, even pool pumps and water heaters. Rebates range from $40 to $300. AC and heat pump rebates go as high as $750. And when you buy Energy Star appliances, you save twice. You'll save when you get the rebate from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, and you'll save again on your utility bill, because it's a fact that Energy Star appliances use less energy than their non-Energy Star counterparts. So look for the Energy Star when you shop local for appliances this holiday season. Get all the Energy Star rebate details at talgov.com. Your own utilities. Click on products and services, and all will be revealed. 'Tis the season to save. Save energy and save money with the City of Tallahassee Utilities Energy Star rebates. You'll save with the rebate, and you save on your utility bill. Happy holidays from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities, and America's #1 public utility.
Right now at the Home Depot, buy a select toolkit and get another tool free. Choose from top brands like DeWalt, Rigid, Milwaukee, and Makita. Then choose another tool to put under the tree as well. A toolkit from the Home Depot makes a great gift. And right now, it makes 2 great gifts. Buy a select toolkit, get another tool free. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through January 24th, 2018, U.S. only while supplies last. 1 transaction per customer. See store for details.
I have known for some time now that some insurance companies are not exactly being truthful with their customers, stating such things as if you do not use one of their approved body shops, they will not guarantee the repairs, or it may cost you more out of pocket. Here at Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, the work we do is guaranteed for as long as you own your vehicle. Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, 385-2665.
License number MP46050. WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source, knows now is a time of true excitement for Nole fans everywhere. That's why WarChant.com is especially proud to announce its newest team member, senior writer Corey Clark. Combine Corey's expertise with owner Gene Williams and managing editor Ira Schafel, and WarChant.com boasts nearly 50 years of experience covering the team you love. It's Taggart time in Tallahassee, and that means now is the perfect time to sign up for your free 30-day trial. From National Signing Day to March Madness, WarChant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
Oh no! My lunch has been ravaged by ants.
Go to Bandito's Burritos.
This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor will start Sunday against the Dolphins after missing a game with a knee injury. Nathan Peterman is in the concussion protocol. He's out for Sunday's game. Broncos quarterback Trevor Siemian is getting an MRI today on his sprained left shoulder. He had to leave last night's game against the Colts. ESPN is trusting the process during 76ers All Access Day today. Sixers rookie Ben Simmons previews tonight's game against Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and the Thunder.
Well, playing against those guys, they're athletes, great players, amazing players, all stars, as you said, Olympians. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but, we love a challenge. It's Philly, so we're going to play hard.
The Sixers and the Thunder tip off our Friday night NBA doubleheader starting at 7 Eastern on ESPN. That one will be followed by the Rockets, who've won 11 straight against the Spurs in Houston. The Phillies will sign free agent first baseman Carlos Santana to a 3-year, $60 million contract. The Phils today also trade shortstop Freddie Galvis to the Padres for a minor league pitcher.
No matter what your budget is, take the JCPenney Holiday Challenge and find surprising gifts at even more surprising prices. Save on toys, apparel, and name brand gifts your family will love. Come in the store or go to jcp.com and get everything on your list for less than you think. JCPenney.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Loosey-goosey edition of the program. Libations Friday. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything, but if you do, we got you all 3 hours posted on iTunes and our own audio vault upon conclusion. There was no show yesterday, so many of you have been asking, hey, what's going on with yesterday's show? There was no show. We took the day off to celebrate the success of the bowling tournament. Thanks again to everybody involved in that. And thanks to all of you guys who contributed and helped out with that. We're still sort of all aglow after what took place there. And we even had some people drop off more stuff today. So folks are compassionate. I appreciate that.
No, it's overwhelming every year, even though you kind of expect it. You always worry. I don't know about you, but I always worry, man, I hope that,
Yeah, what if it's a down year?
The support is good this year, and we'll do whatever we can to help make it as right as possible, but it's never been that way. You go through those motions where you panic a little bit and say, man, you set a bit of a standard here, and it's a significant standard. It's just people were wheeling in bikes on Tuesday night.
How sweet is that, man?
There's something about the bike. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just I remember what it meant to have a bike as a kid.
When I got my mongoose, man, I still remember it.
But when you see somebody roll out a bike, and then that's part of what's making its way to the guardian ad litem or anywhere that there's a need, it just, for whatever reason, man, that hits that string.
It's a big weekend, by the way, for Willie Taggart. It's a preview, if you will. You get a look at key targets coming into Tallahassee, official weekend visit for Willie, and whether you're talking about Warren Thompson, who's a wide receiver, whether you're talking about Asante Samuel, which is just cool to say his name as a recruit because we watched his dad.
Yes,
it's nuts.
That's when I can certainly remember watching. It was like last year.
Got a big D tackle, Tom, that my eyes have turned to. Robert Cooper is just a mere 6'2", 355 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
Might he be a guy that I project at some point to the Knolls? No naughty to the Knolls. Sound all right, that's a big man. There's an offensive lineman, 6'4", 330, and Christian Armstrong. Verbal commit. That's exciting. Just other kids. We know about this, okay? We know about the other guys. We got a verbal commit coming in here to Oregon, and Malcolm Lamar, 6'5", 257-pound defensive end.
Also out of that area.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, plenty of guys, plenty of Amari Gaynor will be here. I think we're solid on him, obviously. Antoine Green is a kid at 6'3", 190 pounds, wide receiver for the class of 2018. I said Malcolm Lamar. I'm trying to think. Isaiah Bolden's another kid. So we've got kids coming in that are undecided or from previous meetings with Willie you think he has an in on.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fascinating fallout from this weekend. Just to hear the details of the story, because most of the time official visits is about
a lot of DBs coming in, by the way.
That is true. Usually it's about meeting with admissions while taking a look at the gadgets and the gizmos of the program. But I would think the centerpiece of this weekend has to be the mission statement. It's almost like starting over from scratch, but you're 3/4 of the way home. And that's the unique part about this weekend, because if Willie Taggart can effectively get his message, into the hearts of the players, not just so they hear it, but he can get it in their hearts, then they can turn around and sell it to other kids that think, well, what? Wait a minute now. I'm committed elsewhere, but what do they have going on in Tallahassee? This is so important, and it's going to be such a unique deal. This time next year, when they have an official visit weekend, be it in late November or December, it's going to be your standard fare. Here's what we can do for you from an academic standpoint.
Right.
Here's our structure. Yeah. Here's where you're going to train. Here are the cool things. Here's the players' lounge. It's not this weekend. This weekend is, here's what I'm about, and I want you to know what I'm about before you decide this is the right place for you.
Selling it, hoping it resonates, hoping they then turn, say yes, and begin to recruit for you as well. So this is a big weekend. We'll document it on Monday, talk about it. We'll have an opportunity to kind of talk about the fallout from it. Let's segue, though, from Florida State to Florida A&M. Real short opening segment here because I want to make way. I'm going to bring in the new Florida A&M head football coach, Willie Simmons, who you heard announced earlier. It's our first chance to talk to him. I'm very excited to talk to him. Of course, for those of you who've been around the block here and been around the program for any length of time, say 20 years, 25 years in the area, you remember Willie Simmons, the player. You know that he went on to play at Clemson and all that good stuff. So in a way, he's coming home, and we look forward to the opportunity to talk to him. This is Willie Simmons, going to join us here in a moment, the new FAMU head coach. Stay with us. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on earth, can give you the best year-end deal on earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
All the mimosas and Bloody Marys you can drink and a breakfast for $18.99. Can you say Uber? Knowles, Bucks, Jags, or Finns, no matter who your favorite team is, take it to 2033 North Monroe Street and watch them at Tallahassee's favorite football hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill.
Credit products are made by WebBank. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
I was making great progress on building my savings, but then I get hit with an unexpected car repair bill.
Keeping a close eye on my credit score allowed me to buy my first house, but an unexpected medical emergency set me back.
When the unexpected happened, Avant was there to help. If you need to borrow $2,000 to $35,000, try Avant. It's fast, simple, and transparent.
Everything is done online. There are no prepayment fees, and no collateral is required. And you can instantly check your rate with no impact to your credit score.
Over 500,000 customers have experienced the convenience of a loan through Avant. No wonder Avant has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And now, Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after your first payment is made on time. To check your rates and to get this special radio offer, go to Avant.com today and enter promo code 3838 when applying. That's AVANT.com, promo code 3838. Go to Avant.com today and enter promo code 3838.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good times on a Friday. Even better times now that we get an opportunity to talk to the new head coach at Florida A&M. He's Willie Simmons. You may remember Willie Simmons if you've been around these parts long enough. We welcome him. We welcome him home in a way. Coach, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations. And I will start by saying welcome home. I know you got to be very excited.
Oh, no question. We're very excited. My family and I excited to be back in Tallahassee where we grew up, where I kind of made my mark as a student athlete and just able to come back and lead a phenomenal program that means so much to me and my family.
Yeah, and you come over, for people that don't know, let's give the background. You come over from Prairie View A&M, and you lead them to winning seasons, 3 years in a row. I noted that I was looking historically. That's only been done 3 times in 50 years that somebody's had back-to-back winning seasons there at Prairie View. So you were very successful, and obviously what everybody's excited about here, given that you're a former quarterback, is your style of offense and how much fun it is to watch. I know you addressed it at the press conference, but let's talk big picture here, what you see for FAMU and how quickly you can kind of implement that offense here.
Well, the one thing about it in today's age of college football, I think most high school football players are familiar with spread offenses. I mean, it's kind of become a trend. You look through our high school football, and there's still a few traditional offenses or wing T offenses, but most guys are throwing the ball around. So the one thing we do have is a quarterback that has been pretty successful during his time here, Ryan Stanley. We have some playmaking wide receivers, some guys that made some plays for him last year that are returning, and some pretty good running backs. So the good thing is, we're not coming to a place where the cupboard's bare. We should be able to install the offense this spring and put our own little twist onto it based on the personnel that we have. I firmly believe in catering the offense to the players that we have, not necessarily making them run my system, so to speak. So we'll have some fun with it. That's why you get 15 practices in the spring to figure out the type of personnel you have. But either way, I think we'll be able to give the fans an offense that they'll be excited to see on Saturday.
It's interesting, Willie, and we're talking to Willie Simmons, new head coach at Florida A&M. When you first got to Prairie View, you didn't get the spring practice because of basically sanctions, and yet you still went, 8-2, I think it was, just like that. And so here you will get that spring practice. You will get that opportunity. I know it had to have been a whirlwind when you were announced and you step into the Lawson Center there, and so many friends and family and former players and certainly coaches on hand and people you know. What have you done basically since this announcement to assess your obviously your staff and the players you're going to have to work with starting in the spring?
Well, the first thing we had to do was kind of meet with academics and compliance. Again, I've been through that situation where you step in, like you said, and wasn't able to have spring practice because of prior sanctions. So wanted to see where we were academically, and fortunately for us, we don't have any sanctions right now at this present time. We don't have any postseason bans or anything of that nature. So they've done a phenomenal job in the past few years of really climbing themselves out of a poor situation. And I look forward to continuing that and bringing FAMU back to the place where we're the example of how to graduate student athletes at a high rate. So that was the first thing we had to do. I've tried to meet with as many players as I've been able to meet with while I've been here, some coaches on the staff, but also to be able to get out and recruit a little bit. We got to definitely make sure we try to get some players in here. So luckily, being from the area, I knew how to get to the high schools without having to put my GPS in, and I was able to get to a few high schools and see some prospective student athletes that I think will be able to come in and help us right away.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned what the previous regime did. Alex Wood came in, and I think you can honestly say cleaned up the program, got it in good academic standing. And I know that your mom was an educator for nearly 30 years, a math teacher. That has to mean a lot to you. I know education means a lot to you. So to know that Florida A&M's in a good situation there, that you can just hit the ground running, had to be one of the things that was attractive about coming home and taking a job like this. Because honestly, for people who have been around a long time and who know that Florida A&M has been a proud institution and a proud football program, these hard times have been tough. It's been hard to watch. 3-8, 4-7, 1-10. It's been since 2011 since Florida A&M had a winning season, and so I guess when you assessed the move and the opportunity to come here, did you look at that and say, okay, look, they're on good footing. We can get this turned around quickly?
Well, I think one thing about me, thinking all the way back to my decision to go to college, I think I like a challenge. When I agreed to go to Clemson back in 1999, they had just come off a 2-9 season, and one of the things that attracted me there was, we were going to be the team that was going to, or the group of young men that was going to bring them back to national prominence. And when I took over the Prairie View job, they hadn't had a winning season since 2011. Hadn't had many winning seasons like you alluded to earlier in the last 50 years. And so we were able to go in and have a winning season the first year, 8-2, and then have 2 more consecutive winning seasons, which again, I think is only the second time in 50 years that they've had 3 back-to-back winning seasons. And so here is a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. Definitely feel like we have the resources, we have the players, we have the alumni base, and the tradition to be able to bring Florida A&M back relatively quickly.
You made a decision back in your playing days, Coach, to come over to FAMU to transfer, but you had to sit out a season, and I think Florida A&M was trying to make the jump to 1A. It never happened, and so you ended up going to Citadel, right?
Yes, sir.
And playing there. And at what point did you realize, you went to Lincoln High School as a coach, you transitioned there, you mentored B.J. Daniels, I think that was back in 2005, and obviously then to Clemson and then moved to Middle Tennessee State. So you made a decision pretty early on, just after your playing days, that you were going to be a coach. What have you learned in your time bouncing around and now obviously as a head coach those 3 years at Prairie View A&M and moving into your job here?
Well, the funny thing about that was I kind of stumbled upon coaching. I just got done playing arena football up at Iowa, and on a 23-hour drive home, Jeff Shakir, who was the defensive coordinator there at the time, actually became the head coach later on, a good friend of mine, called and said they had a quarterback position open. And I was in transition trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. I knew my playing days were coming to an end. And so I said, well, hey, I'll do it. And by the time until I figured it out, and once I stepped foot on campus there at Lincoln and had the opportunity to work with B.J. Daniels, I fell in love with it, And so from that point, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then I just been on the path of just being around great coaches, I was able to go back to Clemson, my alma mater, as a grad assistant to work with Coach Tommy Bowden, who recruited me. After that season, I was able to be hired at Middle Tennessee State by Rick Stockstill, who recruited me out of high school, the head coach there, who's a phenomenal human being and head coach. Left there and went to Alcorn State and worked for Jay Hobson, who's another great football coach. And just during that time, just met so many influential coaches, who I've kind of patterned myself after. And I think that's why I've been able to go different places and kind of put my own stamp on it, because I've been so blessed to be around, not only great X and O guys, but guys who just genuinely have a passion for developing young men.
Talking to new Florida A&M head coach Willie Simmons. What would you say your strength as a coach is?
I like to think that I have a way to relate to the players. I don't know if I would call myself a player's coach. I think that's a term that people use these days. But I try to do a good job of listening to them. I think I take a lot of my experiences as a player coming up in Quincy and even in the college, and some of the things that I maybe didn't necessarily agree with or like. I say, well, you know what? If I'm a coach, I'm going to try to do things a little bit different. Those times where I wanted to offer advice or say, hey, coach, maybe we can try it this way, and they maybe didn't want to listen to me or try it like that. I say, you know what, let me try to do it that way. So I think I have somewhat of an ability to relate to the guys. I grew up in an educational background, as you alluded to. My mom was an educator for 30 years before she passed away. My wife now came up in education. And so to be able to teach them in a way that they can pick it up and learn it, I think it's something that I do a pretty good job of. But really just trying to relate to them and really just trying to let them know that I care about them, that I truly love them, and my job is to make them better. And that's why I coach. I don't coach for the glitz or the glory or the money. I coach because I want to see young men be successful in life. And I think when they feel you're passionate about that, they tend to play a little bit harder for you.
Coach, I'm wondering, and I always find it fascinating, I love opportunities to talk to head coaches. Most people who obviously are in your profession, who make it to a place where you're a head coach in college football, have the acumen and the understanding of the X's and O's. They understand the game completely. But the coaches that separate themselves seem to be, A, the guys that can certainly motivate players and get players to buy into their message, and B, take that knowledge that you're describing that you attained as a player and coach and be able to pass it on to players in a digestible way, a way to kind of understand quickly what it is you're trying to teach. Do you find that's the biggest difference, or a difference, obviously, between styles of coaches and types of coaches? It isn't so much the knowledge. Everybody at your level has certainly the understanding of the game, but the ability to translate that knowledge and make it easily digestible.
Well, I think the key to any successful coach, and ironically, I think the key to any successful organization is that everyone buys in. I think the most successful coaches, the most successful CEOs, the most successful presidents are people who make the people under them buy into their plan. And so I think that when you look at a program like Alabama, when you look at what Dabo Swinney's doing at my alma mater, Clemson, what Bobby Bowden was able to do for so many years here at Tallahassee, or Billy Joel was able to do at Florida A&M back when I came out of high school. I think he was able to get the players to buy into what his process was. The assistant coaches, the administration. I think when everyone is pulling in the same direction, whether you're a football coach, whether you're a CEO, I think that makes for success. And so I think the coaches who I've tried to pattern myself after are guys who, when I hear them talk to their team, when I hear them talk to their coaches, they talk about the process, and they talk about everybody doing the little things that it takes to be successful, and that's the same message that he gives them on an everyday basis.
Coach, all of Tallahassee and, of course, Rattlers all over the country are rooting for you. I want to congratulate you again. I'll talk to you throughout the course of the year, and it's been a pleasure to have you on the Jeff Cameron Show. We'll do it again soon.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. It's a pleasure. Call me anytime.
Okay, take care. That's Coach Willie Simmons, the new head man at Florida A&M, and it's an uphill battle at Florida A&M. Everybody in this community certainly understands that. When you look at the unstable athletic department that has been in place off and on, I mean, that's the part of the instability is the fact that it's constantly in turnover. You go back, FAMU was 7-4 in 2011, 5-3 in the MEAC that year, but they haven't won a solo MEAC title since 2001. It's hard to believe that's 16 years ago. And he mentioned Billy Joe, and Billy Joe had it rolling at Florida A&M. And you would see FAMU in the playoffs every year. And I can remember watching them against Western Kentucky. I remember watching those games and thinking how cool it was that in Tallahassee, Florida State was elite, FAMU was elite. And I talk about it on my show all the time that this city's a buzz when both programs are playing well. It's just fun. It's just great. You get the community all the more energized when everything's going well. It's good for business, period, when everything's going well. But since 2011, in 2012, FAMU went 4-7. They went 3-9 in 2013, 3-9 again in 14, 1-10 in 2015, 4-7 in 2016, 3-8 this past year. That's pitiful. For a program that has so much tradition and so much pride. Now, I will say Alex Wood, who resigned this year, and I don't think would have been retained either way, is a guy that inherited a nightmarish situation when it comes to the APR. So he was tasked, basically, Tom, with getting that thing turned back around to where they wouldn't be under sanctions and you could have full participation. And that's why I brought it up to Willie, by the way. When he took over at Prairie View, they literally were not allowed, because of NCAA violations, the APR problems, to even hold a practice. So he's a first-year guy at a school.
Geez.
He wasn't allowed to practice in spring. Can you imagine? You take over a program and you cannot practice. So what's amazing about that is right after it happens, okay, so then they get into the fall and he starts two-a-days. That's all the practice time he's had, and they go freaking 10-2 or 8-2.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Guys, mental reps. We need to value mental reps.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. So we congratulate Willie Simmons. I remember him. He was at Shanks. Shanks doesn't exist anymore. For people that don't know my background, when I got into radio, I started in Chattahoochee. And so on a lark, just somebody said you should go into radio, and I was trying to figure out what to do. I didn't want to go back to school to get a master's. I was working as a counselor, and to make any money in counseling, you got to get a higher degree, either your master's or your PhD. And I didn't feel like going back to school. And so at that point, I said, well, I'm at a crossroads, and somebody said you should do radio. So long story short, I got into radio. But one of my first jobs was to cover all the high schools of the surrounding area, not necessarily Leon County, but all these areas. And so anyhow, Quincy, Shanks, which doesn't exist anymore, but Shanks and all these other schools in the surrounding. I remember him as a player. I can remember him coming up. I'm really old. That's what's happened.
Wow,
now.
That's wild.
Yeah, I just told him off the air before we started talking. I was like, well, I remember you as a player. He played in 2 Bowden Bowls for Clemson against Florida State. He played in 2 Bowden Bowls. I think it's 2000, 2001. Got smoked by Chris Winkie.
A lot of teams did.
I think it was 48-7. But, yeah.
You know, just in keeping closer tabs on FAM this year, there are a lot of Razor's Edge games, including the Florida Classic, where it's just, I mean, you know, if the ball bounces a couple of different ways.
They would have had a much better record.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't. And
they were better than the record indicated, so it might not be the undertaking of taking over a 1-10 team.
Right. No, yeah. And as it were, I think, 3 wins for FAM. If he can get that turned around quickly, what is fun, when I talk about FAMU and FSU being good at the same time and how great it is for this community, well, if I take it a step further, let me just note that you're going to have 2 different Willies leading programs who both want to go. So you're about to see 2 schools that get up and down the field and score points. Now, the key will be whether or not you can get stops.
Well, and the key is how well you communicate, which is what you're getting at that's the heart of the interview there is what's your creed as a coach? Because in talking to people around the FAMU program, man, once this thing started spiraling out of control, the players shut down. I mean, they would tell people as they're walking off the field, the hell with this. That has to change. That has to change.
And Jordan Culver's done a very good job of covering Florida A&M for the Tallahassee Democrat, and you can go back and read his stuff, and you'll see that, and he does a good job in general. But I just think, it's a proud tradition, Florida A&M. And I believe that if they get the right guy in here and you can get things turned around quickly, that's a school because of cachet. It's no different than Florida State in this way, no different than Oklahoma. All schools, Oklahoma especially a better example, because when you're a major school, big-time program, doesn't matter if it's Division I or Division II, FCS or FBS, if you're a power and you've been a traditional power and you have that background, even though you've been down and you've gone through a bunch of seasons where you're sub 500, we've watched on the highest levels and the smallest, Division III, you name it, doesn't matter. Programs turn around quickly if they have a storied history. The right man comes in and plugs into that history, is able to use it properly in his recruitment of a better caliber athlete and a better caliber player. It's not everything. You got to have a lot of other things in place, including in the athletic department. Got to have people know what they're doing. But when that happens, it turns around quickly. We wish him well. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT. Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month. TNT.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do, with quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Customers constantly tell us that they're getting several estimates to compare apples to apples. You ever bite into an apple and find out the inside is rotten? Cheap roofing quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
number CCC 049350.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Hear that? That's the sound of speechless. Like when you give her an unforgettable gift from Jared the Galleria of Jewelry. Whether it's one of the hundreds of new pieces in our collection, one of the exclusive pieces you can only find at Jared, or a custom piece we create just for you, Jared is the place to find the gift.
I love it.
That takes her breath away. And that's why he went to Jared.
It's that time of year again where you have to shop for the naughty and the nice. Make it easy. Super Lube it and get rewarded with a free oil change. Right now, visit any of the 19 area Super Lube locations, buy 3 oil changes, and get 1 free. Keep it or give that free oil change to a car lover on your list. Hurry in and make shopping easy with a free oil change from Super Lube. You'll be glad you did.
They change my oil in just 10 minutes. Boy, this place is sure convenient. How I love to super lube my car, lube my car. How I love to super lube my car. Yes, sir.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Libations Friday. Time to continue to defeat my mom in these wagers. I did last night. She had Indianapolis time. I had Denver.
Really?
I did. That's a W. That's an L for her. That's 9. I'm plus 9 now because we split in the other 2 last week. I had the Rams. She had Philadelphia. I had the Jags. She had the Seahawks. I had won the Thursday night game already.
If there's a run to be had, now is the time.
Yeah, it's true. So plus 9 for yours truly. I had Denver last night, and it worked out well. I'm kind of glad Trevor Siemian got hurt because he's freaking terrible. So that was good. Osweiler came in. He's also terrible, but less so, I think. Mama, we're going to cue this up, and you'll be able to talk, and we can talk about how you're down 9.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Ma, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
Hello, Mother.
Hello, Jeffrey. I'm telling you what, Tom is right. Now, if there's ever a run to be had, now's the time. I don't know, though. I think this might be one of my worst picking years ever. I don't know what has happened. I don't necessarily think it's me. These crazy teams are schizophrenic.
Yeah, but I've had no trouble picking them.
I know that's true, but you are a trained professional. But I don't know. I just have not done well on picking for some reason. I talk myself in and out of things, and the teams that I thought we were going to really do well have not, and so I don't know. And I'm kind of like the Bucks. Like I said, we are having a terrible time. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this year. It seems like I read the papers and everything, and you can't just keep firing all the coaches every couple of years, and everything. I don't know that that's the answer, but I don't know. You can't fire the players because they've all got these contracts and things, and so I don't know what the solution is for the Bucks.
Well, they got to get better. They got to, obviously study and get some people in the draft that will help the process. And, I think there are areas that they could immediately improve on. They haven't had a pass rusher since Simeon Rice left. So,
I know.
So basically, that's one area. They got to find answers in the pass rush. That'll help the defense, which has been dreadful all year long. And they won't always be in a position where they have to score 24, 30 points a game to win. And then in addition, obviously they got to get better up front. They haven't been able to run the football. When you can't run the football, your quarterback gets hit too much, and when that happens, then injuries occur, which happened to Jameis this year, and they're inconsistent on offense because they can't run it. So I think these are all things they got to get better at. I would fire Dirk Cutter. I don't think he's a very good leader. I think he operates under an umbrella of timidity. I think he's nervous all the time. I don't like that he lacks aggression. But if they don't fire him, I certainly would bring in some assistants,
new
shake up the staff.
offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I don't know that Mike Smith is the answer either.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The defense has been dreadful, but they can't get pressure on the quarterback, and that's where it starts. If you let guys in this league sit around for 4 and 5 seconds throwing the football, they're going to find somebody.
I know. We make everybody look like world beaters.
We do. Here you go. You ready? Last
Oh,
night.
I don't know if I'm ready. But anyway, we got to do it, so here we go.
Last night I had Denver. You had Indianapolis.
I did.
25-13, Denver wins. It's +9. We go to the next game. Chicago at Detroit.
Yeah. How do you like that one? I picked Detroit.
Sure, that's an easy pick. Chargers at Kansas City.
I love Kansas City, and they're at Kansas City. But I don't know. The Chargers have really done well, and I took the Chargers.
Me too. Arizona is at Washington.
Yeah, that's another game. That's a
garbage-ass team.
I'm telling. I took Arizona.
I don't know. I haven't selected.
I know. That's not me neither. But
I'm going to take Washington.
Oh.
I don't like the pick. I don't like either one of these teams. They're both garbage. Philadelphia against the Giants.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. Green Bay's at Carolina with Aaron Rodgers returning.
I know. That makes me happy. I took Green Bay just because of that.
I did too. Cincinnati's at Minnesota.
Yeah, now Minnesota screwed me over the other day, but I'm taking Minnesota.
I took Minnesota, and they screwed me over the other day as well. Yeah. The Jets are at New Orleans. You're taking New Orleans. Miami's at Buffalo.
Yeah, now there you go. But it's at Buffalo, and I tell you what, if they have another snowstorm like that, I took Buffalo.
Is Tyrod Taylor going to play? Do we have any word of whether or not Tyrod Taylor is going to play?
I don't know that.
These two teams are pretty much the same team. Not very good. Couple key players. I'm tempted to take Miami, but I'll take Buffalo at home. Baltimore's at Cleveland.
Baltimore.
Houston's at Jacksonville.
I know. Jacksonville. How about Jacksonville?
Yeah, took them against Seattle last week.
I'm actually happy for Jacksonville. Bless their hearts. They have been like the Bucks, and now they're coming around.
Well, let's not confuse them with the Bucks, who do own a Super Bowl championship.
I know, that is true. We do have that.
Yes, let's not do that.
We do have that.
That's right. The Rams are at Seattle.
The Rams.
You're damn right. Tennessee is at San Francisco.
Tennessee.
Nope. San Francisco's going to win that game. I'll take the 49ers.
Really? Okay. Now, why do you say that?
Well, they won 2 in a row. Garoppolo's a very good quarterback so far in this league, and they're looking like a different team. Tennessee's played terrible. I think that it's fairly obvious that Mariota's not any good. So I'm taking San Francisco.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
New England's at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, now that might be the game of the week, huh?
You think? That's definitely the game of the week.
That's definitely the game of the week. I'm picking Pittsburgh because I want them to win, and they're at Pittsburgh, and I'm sick of New England, so I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I'm taking Pittsburgh, too, not for those reasons, but I am taking Pittsburgh as well.
Your emotional mother picks it like that's the way I pick them.
Yeah. Dallas is at Oakland.
Oh, Lord, this is another game that they're like the same teams. I'm taking Dallas.
Me too. Obviously, you took Atlanta against the Bucks.
I did.
No, don't even waver.
I know.
I'm
not wavering. I'm not wavering.
Mike Smith's defense is going to give 300 yards receiving up to Julio Jones, so just don't even bother with
I know. Well, after what happened last time with that game, I mean, that was just a tragedy. But yeah, I know it. I took Atlanta. I don't think that we have a chance, but. Anyway,
we have a chance, but it's not. It's very unlikely.
If what's his name, the quarterback, if Matt Ryan goes down and Julio breaks his little ankle or something, then maybe.
And then Sanu would have 200 yards receiving against us.
Yeah, they just switch over.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. But anyway, well, it's it's painful to watch these games. I just wish that, I don't expect them to win every week, but I would just like them to be competitive. And
they were plenty competitive last week.
Well, I know they've come down to overtime and everything the last 2 weeks. Of course, it didn't go into overtime, did it, last week?
24-21.
They tied it, and then they ended up winning before overtime.
That's correct.
Oh, God, I know. Well, it's almost, at least they put us out of our misery quick.
Well, we'll be all right. It's just football. We'll get next year. Love you, Mama.
I know. All right, well, I don't know. Will we be on the air next week or not?
No, not at the time we normally would. We could do one earlier in the week, maybe.
Okay, all right, because I was going to say Merry Christmas to everybody, Happy Holidays and Hanukkah and all that stuff. But anyway, maybe I will be on next week. So
maybe we will.
All right, sweetie. Well, I love you. Everybody have a good weekend.
Love you too, Mama. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go. So I got Washington. She's got Arizona. I don't have any confidence in my Washington pick. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole if I were really gambling on these games. That's a terrible game. Who knows? Coin flip. And San Fran against Tennessee, I really like my San Fran pick.
Oh, yeah. 49ers are trending, man.
Well, and it's funny. Tennessee's trending in the wrong direction, and San Francisco's trending in the right direction. So, yeah, give me the 49ers.
Yeah, how about the quarterback play in that game? Garoppolo against Mariota.
Yeah. It's decided advantage for San Francisco.
It is.
I mean, really lopsided advantage there. So it's
no joke.
No, I'm not joking at all. I mean, you may hear a tinge of pleasure in the way that I voice that, but it doesn't. It doesn't mean that I'm making it up. I think that's accurate. Yeah. Well, and I think so does Mariota, who last week said I'm costing our team games. Yeah, you are. You've been terrible. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN. Let's come back. Wrap it up.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on earth, can give you the best year-end deal on earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my poor truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Pensacola Street at 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
You're listening to the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Wrapping it up. Good weekend to be heading on into as the bowl season gets started. Of course, the Noles playing basketball on Saturday, 2 o'clock, Oklahoma State and us. 2 o'clock.
In Sunrise.
Beautiful Sunrise, Florida welcomes Oklahoma State. The Cowboys come in with a record of 7-2. The Noles, number 19 in the country, 9-0. It's surprised the early college basketball season out of the ACC. Welcome in. I'm Jack Philbuck alongside.
Glad you went with Philbuck.
Philbuck is
well.
Jack.
I mean, there's onomatopoeia that could be combined there, and then
I like Jack Philbuck's funny. That was off the top of my head. Jack Philbuck here alongside Grant. Grant, how are you? Grant ought to be, what would Grant be? Grant would be
Peabody.
No, he can't. That's too. Jack Philbuck and Grant Strom. Jack Philbuck, Grant Strong, alongside, joined by Susan Wilcox on the sidelines. How you doing, Susan? Anyhow, Florida State, Oklahoma State tomorrow at 2:00. That's kind of a sort of what's on tap version because we're not doing what's on tap, but there's that, and then there's football, and Tampa Bay takes on Colorado. You know, if you haven't had an opportunity to watch the Lightning lately, well, then you're just missing out on a lot of wins. Because every time we skate, we win. That's how this works.
Did you watch the game last night?
I did. 23-6-2. That's what the hell the Lightning are. Are you posting our points?
No, there's a massive amount of points that I have to
I was going to say, I keep looking at it. I said, that looks a little light. That doesn't appear to be the number of points we should have.
You want to know why? Because I can't find the black marker. So that's the reason I haven't done it.
I'm like, there's all kinds of points to be had.
No, I do the same thing every day. I sit down and go, the black marker surely has to be around here. And then I can't find it. I go, the hell with it. I'll find it later.
Well, I'll tell you what I think is funny about watching the Lightning. They did it again last night, is the first 10 minutes, the first 7 minutes, the first period, I'm watching us, and I'm like, I don't know if we care to be here tonight. And then, bam, it's 2-0. I was like, we do that more than, well, I don't watch a lot of other teams, so you could tell me how often that it takes place with other teams.
No, listen, I've said it a bunch the last 4 or 5 seasons. Complacency is a big problem with Tampa. It's not that bad this year. It's not nearly as bad as it was. And I think, honestly, if you're looking for signs, that's twofold. One, and this is a lesson across all sports, the head coach said his message got stale, and he's absolutely right. If you listen to the people inside the organization, there was friction. And he said he needed to reinvent his approach a little bit because he could sense that people weren't receiving the message the way they did when he first walked in the door.
What did he do?
Well, that is a trade secret. But I think he loosened up a little bit. If you could just look at him personality-wise on the bench, he looks like he's a little bit looser. We were so concerned in the last 2 or 3 seasons with winning games 2-1 or 3-2. It was very much akin to what Florida State fans' complaints are about the pace here. If you're better, then you should take more opportunities, not fewer opportunities.
Well, Kucherov and Point and Johnson and all those guys. I mean,
if you notice this year, it's not just the fact that your captain is healthy and he's one of the best players in the world and he's reasserting himself. Man, they play to the wall, to the max, and they push it down the ice. And also, it was really important. They had a head coaching hire, Todd Richards, in the last 2 seasons, and he's a power play guru, and that power play looks as good as it's ever looked in Tampa.
Better than I ever remember it.
Correct. We always had studs for the last 15 years.
Yeah, and we couldn't score on the power play, or it looked bogged down, and now it's so quick. It's boom, 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 shot.
Well, the number one thing in that sport, man, and soccer is very much like it. It's about relieving pressure, space, and time. Yeah. Whatever you can do to generate space and time and don't rush through the decisions, that is what hockey and power play hockey especially is all about. It's about making that pass so that the pressure is relieved and you can make decisions on your own time.
Did you see last night's game?
No.
You were at the movie.
Yeah, I was at the movie, yeah.
Hedman played really well.
He's a good player.
Well, he is. He played really well. And it may not, he didn't score, so it may not be that you realize that, but he played really well.
The number one thing, and there is a little bit of a groundswell here. Some people are starting to watch Lightning hockey here in Tallahassee.
There you go. Come on, kids. Come on.
17 in blue or white, Alex Killorn. Watch him on the power play. Mm-hmm. He's in the tight areas. He forms little quick triangles with the point man and the guy on the wall. And he makes these nifty little passes. And it's like what Angola does when he's driving through the lane. He sees these little spots, and what it does is it relieves the pressure on the entire...
Well, and it's also the pass that follows that I always love. Like, he creates that release and then space, and then there's an immediate pass and a shot.
Sure.
And you're like, ooh.
Right, because you reverse, you switch the side of the ice. But what he does is you have at least one defenseman, if not 2 players, collapse on him, and he has the poise in the moment to relieve the pressure and make the smart pass.
Well, and I know this from having played soccer, and then also my brother played college soccer. My other brother did as well, and we grew up as a soccer family. The guys that are really good around the net are the guys that handle pressure, because the moment hits you in a hurry when you have opportunity. When you realize there's a chance to score, some guys get, literally, for lack of a better term, Twitter-pated.
Yes.
They can't finish. And so your great goal scorers find a way to slow it down and to be in the moment and not ahead of it and not too fast. And they put together a measured, calculated, well-placed ball. In this case, puck.
Right. Yeah. No.
You may not score, but it's a well-placed ball or a well-placed puck in this case.
It's the same trade a defenseman has to have, too. And, my dad had no hockey background except for watching it, most of his life. He watched the Rangers teams in the old days, and then obviously the dynasty that was the Islanders in the 70s. They won 4 cups in a row.
Sure.
I mean, that's a forgotten franchise. They won 4 in a row.
I remember it.
Wow. Now, that is truly stunning.
Islanders were really, really good when I was a kid. I remember all that, yeah.
Okay. But what he said, and this again, it's a lesson across all sports. I'm going to teach my kids when I'm, you have more time than you think.
Always.
You have more time than you think.
It's hard, though, Tom. You can tell kids that. And, listen, I didn't play college soccer, so I don't want to sound like this. But I played right wing, left wing, and center striker over the 13 years that I played. I scored a lot of goals.
Right.
When you are able, when I saw guys who had more ability to me and they didn't score, it was always because they rushed things. It's hard because you can tell people that either you feel that or you don't. In other sports, I get anxiety where I didn't get any in that sport. I got anxiety, and maybe it's because I was playing from the time I was 5. Maybe, probably, But I get anxiety in golf that you don't get. I've seen the way you handle things, and you handle them better than me. I get anxiety for certain types of shots or moments. And they don't appear to be big. Like, you wouldn't think they were big moments. But for me, I know that whether this is going to be a good round or a bad round, this shot's probably going to dictate. Middle of the fairway after a good drive, I've got 170 to the green. There's no reason not to hit a good shot here. But if I don't, then I blow this opportunity at a par, which then sends me off the rails.
Yeah, the funny thing is it doesn't have any bearing, because then you could rattle off 3 pars in a row.
Of course,
and that's just
but
the way the game goes.
I got to get my head around that. Yeah,
man. When I was a kid, I was book smart as a kid. I love sports. I consume sports left and right. That's why this is the job I always wanted.
Love it. Yeah.
But I was not a smart athlete. I was a horribly anxious athlete.
Right.
I didn't take the lessons that I saw on the field or the ice or the court or heard from the coaches. It didn't sink in. I actually became a much better athlete in college when it was far too late to do anything about it. It's like, well, that's great that you're playing, wiffle ball with a keg out there, or you're playing IM football.
Right.
That's great that you're good now, but what did that do for you?
Yeah, back then
when it counted and the games counted. But that lesson is so true about you have more time to consider what you want to do, and that's a principle in hockey that when guys have it, it's like pocket presence for a quarterback in the NFL. They have the eyes in the back of their head. You go, well, that's just different. Nobody can get a clean shot at this guy.
Today's game, it's scorers of any position in basketball. It used to be point guards in the tournament, the ones who could stay composed with 6 seconds on the clock as they ran it down to get a final look, who understood they had more time. One of the great things about the Christian Laettner play against Kentucky, the famous play, is so you get the baseball pass, which in and of itself is a great pass. But when Laettner goes up and catches, he has the presence of mind to know that he can put the ball on the floor and actually give a fake before going up. Now, he didn't have much time because he gets it off at literally almost 0, but enough time to know with the game on the line, your tournament, your dreams, your hopes, everything, I got time to come down, put the ball on the floor, make a move, and go up. That's crazy.
You can't teach instinct and you can't teach elite skill, but you can teach an informed skill.
Well, you can also teach people to breathe.
And that's thinking. That's thinking before the play. That is preparing.
That was
for
in the huddle.
play.
That was also Coach K gets a lot of credit for that. To this day, all the players in that huddle say that he told them, now here's what's going to happen. We're going to score on this play, and here's how.
Right.
And, that's well done.
Right. And again, it's a universal principle. This is why we love coaches who manage the final 2 minutes of a half well.
Right.
Because in the same way.
Everything's going crazy around you.
But yes, in the same way for an athlete that it slows down for a coach, and he knows exactly what to do, and he's got the I got you look in his eye, and that's what's so cool about that. But in hockey, man, you have time to make a decision as the puck is coming to you, and then do you have the presence of mind to know how much time and space you have once it's on your stick? And that's what Victor Hedman has in spades. He's not a physical defenseman, but he's just so wise with the puck.
He played really well last night, and I enjoyed watching him do so. By the way, this is the weekend. I told you we've got Bowl Mania begins now. So this is where you're walking around on a Tuesday, or maybe next week you've taken a day off, and you walk past the TV in the middle of the afternoon, and you're like, that's right. There's a bowl game on right now, and there's another one that follows this one, and then yet another one. All right. And that's where we're at. This weekend begins that. You'll look up, and you'll catch yourself doing, at least I do anyhow, you'll catch yourself going, when I saw the bowl schedule, when I saw that Western Kentucky was taking on Georgia State, I thought, not going to watch that one, 2:30 on a Saturday. You're watching Western Kentucky and Georgia State tomorrow, folks. That's what the hell you're doing, because then at 3:30, an hour after that one starts, you're watching Boise State and Oregon, which I might say is a great game.
Buddy, if you're in a confidence pool, too, you'll watch all of these. That's the greatest pool to help out a sport that I've ever seen. Like, fantasy football helped, people tune in. But the college football bowl pick'em, and you have confidence ratings, now all of those games, I go, well, that's my 35-point game.
I got to watch that
This
game.
has to happen.
Well, and I'll take it a step further. If you gamble on every single game individually, you'll watch every single game because you're gambling on it.
Buddy, the bowl pick'em is your gateway gambling.
It's a beautiful thing. Come on over. Become an addict like us. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Talk to you guys next week. Be well. Have a great weekend. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. Be good.